You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog. My name, sorry, can't forget our whoop whoop. My name is Kinsey, and I am here today with one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media and the man who's never lost a debate, Skip Bayless. And of course, to my right, I might take this home. So proud of you, Aqib, for your Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro cornerback, Aqib Talib. And our very own quarterback, top 5 passer in the history of the USC Trojans, Cody Kessler.
There you go, Cody.
And Underdog has something fun for you guys today. We're going to do something new. So Underdog's dropping heat this weekend. Everyone gets 2 gimme picks, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. And new customers, you guys are going to get 3. So 75 boost this Saturday. A gimme means a player just needs 1 yard for that pick to hit. And Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including Georgia, Texas, Missouri, just to name a few. So make sure you guys go show us some support and use code GRID. Play just $5, get $50 in bonus funds. And also, for tonight's big Thursday night football matchup, Aqib is going to give us some picks. So let's see what you got.
I'm going with the running backs. The running backs today, man. A-Chain, over 54. And James Cook, over 65, over 67.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, James Cook going to get it done. And I think if you got Tyreek and Waddle on the outside, they're going to play a lot of too high. A-Chain to get a couple big runs, he'll get over, man. Not much over.
Okay.
But he'll get over, man. So, hey, ride with my picks, man. Let's go.
Okay, usually the chat loves Aqib, so let me know in the chat, are you guys going to ride with his picks?
Ride with me, chat. Let's go, baby.
Let's see.
Pick up.
Today we are talking about potentially the game of the week. We have Eagles versus Rams. I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, we have Thursday night football to talk about. Joe Burrow and potentially whose fault is his injury history. So much to talk about on today's show. It's going to be a great one. But first, of course, I want to start with some player drama. Kyler Murray, he's not really usually into some drama, but he was posing with his dog wearing a Michael Vick jersey. Okay, I'm sure you guys all know this, but Vick, of course, was convicted of operating and financing a dog fighting ring in 2007, and he served 21 months in prison for this. So here, Kyler Murray posted this on Instagram. Obviously, the internet lost it. Aqib, how are you feeling about this? This was a crazy oversight.
Well, there's some dope-ass pictures, though. I must admit, the pictures is fucking nice, you know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like as a quarterback of an NFL franchise, it's a bad decision. You don't want to flirt with that drama like
Nobody
that.
taking it was thinking, this is a bad look?
How can you not? I mean, the person taking it, he's just doing his job. But Kyler looking at it, I'm sure he like Vick jersey, the dog. He had to know that it was going to be a little bit of drama behind it. You know what I'm saying? So just if you're a quarterback of an NFL franchise, man, just steer clear of that kind of drama, in my opinion. You could put on a different jersey, take a picture with the dog. Them shits would have came out just as nice.
Yeah.
Or just take the dog out of it and take a picture with Michael Vick. They can't blame you for being a Michael. I like Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? He did what he did. He served his punishment. Ain't nothing wrong with liking Michael Vick as a fan. You know what I'm saying? So I just think even if a DB would have did it, if a DB do it, hey, man, a wide receiver do it, hey, but just as the quarterback, one of the leaders of that franchise, you just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? He might be like, bro, I'm just taking a picture of my dog with my favorite quarterback's jersey on. But just because who you are, you just can't do it. So I think a bad decision by my guy, man. That's my dog too. I rock with Kyler, but it's just a bad decision.
I have rocked with Kyler for a long time, since he was at Oklahoma. I campaigned for him to be the first pick in the draft. I got to know Michael Vick when I worked with him at Fox, and I have come to love him also. But with Kyler, I keep waiting for him to grow up and become the face of that franchise. So they get off to a 2-0 start, albeit they won at New Orleans and they beat Carolina at home, but they're 2-0. And they got a chance to be pretty good, maybe very good. And out of the blue, this happens. And I just sat back and shook my head because it comes off as tone deaf and ultimately just clueless. What are you thinking? Because I don't know that he was thinking, because he's a current black quarterback appearing to make some kind of bad joke about, to me, the most beloved black quarterback ever.
Right.
The Michael Vick experience that was Michael Vick in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the most exciting football I have ever watched from any single player, who was the most devastating broken field runner I have ever seen. He obviously began to dominate Madden in ways no player ever has dominated. And we're to a point where half the quarterbacks now starting in this league are black. Again, I've come a long way with this. I go all the way back to the Rams, covering the Rams when James Shaq Harris was the only black quarterback starting. And if you told me then that half the quarterbacks in the league would be black, I would have laughed at you, because I'd just say these old school white guys, they're never going to go for this.
Right.
And now it's the thing. Now it's the way to go. And it's only going to get more and more. So here's Kyler, who is kind of a creation of Michael Vick. You know, like Michael Vick, in a way, opened the door for what Kyler does, because he obviously uses his legs as much as he uses his arm, and he can be a devastating broken field runner. So here's a Kyler who clearly had a video game addiction when he first got into pro football, and it got to the point where one of the guests who was invited to a birthday party of his in 2022 told me that they surprised him, and he went up to his room and locked the door and played video games the whole night while everybody was celebrating his birthday downstairs. That's how addicted he was to playing video games.
Yeah.
And then the clause was put in his 2022 contract when he re-upped with Arizona, and it was the homework clause. And I'll read it real quick, that Kyler's required to dedicate at least 4 hours a week to independent study of game film with penalties for non-compliance. And I'm like,
how do they
what?
monitor that?
What?
They can see your time.
Yeah,
You can see how much time
on your
you
pad.
watch on the iPad.
Okay. They eventually, when it got public, because it was part of a public contract, they took it out because it shamed him and them. It just looked terrible for the franchise. But that's Kyler. And I keep saying, come on, man. You're now the seventh year. At some point, you got to act like you're the face of the franchise. You're the leader of the football team. And where that came from, I have no idea. It's just a bad look for him and for them at a time they are off to a 2-0 start.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Look, I don't know if it was intentional or not. And he said that it wasn't. And he said it wasn't in bad taste.
I don't think it was.
But the problem I have with that is he admitted to admiring Michael Vick, right? If you grew up like we all did. I mean, Michael Vick is the reason that I played quarterback. I mean that. I mean, I would wear the Vick cleats. I had the sleeves on. I had the 3-bar, face mask with the smoke visor. Like, I wanted to be Michael Vick in middle school.
Did you play like Michael Vick?
He just couldn't run.
Yeah, I
wanted to be him.
Hey, easy now. Easy now. I can move a little bit, and then I put on a little weight when I got to college. That freshman 15 got me. I went from dual threat to pro style. But no, I mean, I idolized Michael Vick, as a lot of us did growing up. And the biggest issue I have, like Aqib said, like, it's just, you can't be that distraction. Someone took that photo. He put the jersey on, got the dog, took the photo. You had to edit it, look at it, and then you had to go hit send. I feel like if you admit that you admire Michael Vick and you know what he's about, you obviously know the backstory. So that didn't cross your mind one time to think, you know what, this might be in bad taste. And you know,
what are the odds the one photo your dog's in?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I don't want to think it was intentional. I don't want to think it was a bad joke or it was trying to be a publicity stunt or whatever it may be. But with with what we've seen from Kyler in the past, with the video game stuff and with some of the off-field leadership things, it's hard for me to think that it wasn't. Like, I believe maybe, he did do this to get a little bit of attention, to cause a stir, because I couldn't imagine doing that and then not thinking a little bit about the repercussions of, this is going to be a distraction to my team. People are going to take this the wrong way. For him to just hit send after all those stages and taking the photo and getting dressed, it's just bad taste for me. And I
don't think it was a bad joke, though. I don't think he was like trying to shoot a slug at Vick.
Heck no.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. I think he was honestly showing Vick some love. I rock with Vick. I rock with pit bulls. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to just, be neutral in the situation. Like, but
I think it was a bulldog, right? It wasn't a pit bull, right?
Shit.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It looked like a pit bull to me.
It looked like a pit bull. Yeah, I'm like,
I've been around them. It looked like a pit bull to me.
And you have?
I have one.
Yeah.
I have one.
I have one too.
I had two. One of them just passed away. I know pit bulls when I see them. So
Yes, you do.
Yep. I think it was a pit bull.
Okay.
But I think he was actually just showing love. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm neutral in the situation. I love dogs. I got a dog, a pit bull, and I love Michael Vick. This is my favorite quarterback.
Still, if you'd been sitting there with Kyler at that moment, I think you would have said,
don't post that, Kyler.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, don't post it. Put another jersey on, bro, or just take the dog out of it, fam. I would have told him.
So you were 15-ish, I think, when this went down and Michael went to prison. I think you were right in that neighborhood.
I think I might have been older. I feel like because Michael Vick was in Kansas, and I feel like I was in Kansas.
It was 2007.
7.
Oh, so yeah, I was in Kansas. Yeah, I got drafted in 08. So yeah, I was in Kansas.
Okay.
Because I remember Michael Vick being in Kansas. We was in Kansas.
Oh, you know what I was
We
thinking?
was like, we gonna go see him and shit.
When he was a rookie, when he hit, you were 15-ish, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so what did he mean to you when you were in high school?
Well, I love Michael Vick. Like I was like Kyler shit. I loved the Madden. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't take me off the game. So I made sure I got Michael Vick in fantasy drafts.
He was the most unstoppable.
Bro, he was just like a different breed. Like we never seen a quarterback. No. He was he revolutionized that quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? He's a running back playing quarterback, and he could throw the shit too. Mm-hmm. So
he could.
It was crazy for me to see it, but at the same time, Skip, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and Trenton, New Jersey, and I seen 40 dog fights. So I grew up seeing it. It's so regular on that East Coast. So, him being from Virginia, when it came out, I'm like, damn, Vick ain't had nothing to do with it. Them just his partners just doing it. He just caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't more like, I was like, he fighting dogs because I grew up, he a product of his environment. Shit, like I'm a product of my environment. It's what we grew up seeing. So that part wasn't as mind-boggling to me. It was just that, damn, Vick had the whole operation. Nah, it was, Vick probably just gave his partner some cash and they put it together and not his name in it. So it was shocking to me that Vick was like running this shit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the dog fight, man, I grew up seeing that kind of stuff.
Okay, how did you feel about him he got 23 months, the sentence is almost 2 years in prison. He served 21 or 23, as Kinsey said.
21,
But the point is, did you feel like that was overly severe punishment for the crime?
I mean, I think you do the crime, you do the time. It's whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? If you get caught, whatever the district attorney tell you, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what he put on your plate. That's what you got to do. He couldn't give you life for it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not a life sentence type of crime, you know what I'm saying? It's a 2-year type of crime, and that's what he gave you, the max, or he can give you a half of it, or he can give you none of it. He gave you probably the max of what you could do because who you are. So, hey, you do the crime, man, you do the time. So I'm sure Vick could say the same thing, man. He did it. He served his punishment. Now he's getting another shot. He got the Fox, got another shot. He's getting another shot at coaching now, man. It's part of his story, man. He can go around and be an advocate for it now and tell kids not to do it and what it did to his life, how much it changed his life. So
yeah. You want to go?
Oh, go ahead, Skip.
So I became a huge Michael Vick fan to the point I was not going to miss his games.
Same.
It was must-see TV because something was going to happen that you'd never seen before. And when he carried Atlanta, coached by Dan Reeves, who I knew very well, all the way to a big playoff win at Green Bay on a cold Saturday night, and they won big, I was like, this man has revolutionized this game. And it continued on. It was up and down here and there, and he and Dan fought a lot about you can do this, but you can't do that on the football field. And yet you saw him growing up and taking over not only that team, but that city. And you know Atlanta, I think, pretty well, right? And it was such a mecca for black people, 50% population black people, sort of the black Hollywood, it was known as. And no player could have fit a city better than Michael fit that team at that time in that town. And when this came down, it just rocked me and shocked me because I grew up around cockfighting, not so much dog fighting, but but I was a dog lover from the time I was born, and I still am, and I have a dog who's the love of my life, and so it mixed my emotions because the prospect of Michael being convicted for executing dogs, because it's a felony offense, obviously. Mm-hmm. It was just hard for me to overcome it for a while until I got to know Michael, and I believe his heart is good. I know him, and I wouldn't say this if I didn't believe it and have spent enough time where he paid a severe penalty, price, because he lost age 27 and age 28 in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a lot of, that's prime time, man. That's just, you just took the heart out of his career. And he came back under Andy Reid in Philly, and they had some moments, but he never was quite what he was in Atlanta. Not quite. Wound up in Pittsburgh for Coach Tomlin, but still, what would he have been without this? Oh my God. Because he was on the rise, and then it obviously, it shamed him personally, it humbled him. He went through so much, and he rose up out of it. He's a good man. So for me, I obviously forgive him for all that he did. It's hard to forget about it if you really, really love dogs, and I'm sure a lot of people out there just they'll never give it up. But he's a good man. He's in a good place. They're off to a little bit of a shaky start because he's got to change the culture there at Norfolk State. Yeah. They're 1-2. They got rocked by Rutgers 60-10, but that's going to happen because they're not in the same league with literally and figuratively with Rutgers. But you have to appreciate what he went through and what he overcame and what he has become. And I do believe he will be the leader of men in college football.
Yeah, and I can respect that. And I'm never going to judge someone for their background, and everyone's, upbringing looks different. And I believe that too, that you're a product of your environment. I wasn't around that growing up. I grew up in Bakersfield, California, which is just a small kind of farm town, and I wasn't around that. So, Vick was my idol, and I mean that to the fullest extent. I mean, I had the posters up on the wall. I watched every single game that he was in. I wanted to be just like him. So for me, when this happened, I think I was right around 14 years old. So idolized him all through middle school, got to high school, and then this happened. And I grew up, my parents had pit bulls, they still do. I have my dog Cody, German Shepherd Husky at home. Like, I love dogs. It's always been a part of my life. So when that happened, to me, it was like, he did what? Because I didn't know dog fighting was a thing at the time, or cockfighting or any of that stuff, So I'm like, he did what? Wait. And it was my first experience with a guy that I idolized, and I felt like, I was let down as a kid. And I know Mike Vick doesn't owe me anything, but that was a tough moment for me to see that happen, and then still go, you know what? That's my favorite player. My favorite player did this. And look, I don't know him personally. I'm sure he's a great person, but just the animal cruelty thing that happened with that and how much I love dogs, it was tough. I mean, it rocked me hard as a kid. I mean, I remember crying in my room and upset that what he did, and now he's going to prison. I'm not going to go out, watch him play football, and just it was a tough time. It was one of those moments where a guy you idolize, you had him on a pedestal, and something like that happens. It's tough, So again, never going to judge someone for their background, but I remember it hit me pretty hard when I was a kid, just because of how much I loved Michael Vick growing up.
Well, it just shows that if you're Michael Vick, if you're Kyler Murray, when you are a face of a franchise, what you take on is you have to really think about the decisions that you're making, and we're obviously seeing that. And maybe it was an oversight by Kyler, but a massive oversight that he should have thought about, because you're an adult and you are a face of a franchise. I do want to move on, though. We showed Tuesday Baker Mayfield, a different quarterback, getting up from a potential injury to talk shit to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And now the drama continues. So I want to go ahead and put this on the screen. So
like I said, I'm really not worried about it. I mean, we change week to week in terms of what we
not
do.
this one, but
there we go.
There we go. Okay, so Baker Mayfield posts on his Instagram this photo, right? And he's like built different, 10 toes down. Then you see CJ's like, boy, this is cute, but still ringless. That's a dig right there. And CJ had also said that Tampa Bay has a loaded wide receiver group, but would be better off with a good quarterback. Huge dig, I think. Aqib, do you like what's going on with them? Do you like that he took a shot at Baker Mayfield? I know you like a little drama.
Yeah, I do, but I think the question really should be, do I like the shot that Baker took at CJ? I mean, hey, if you post them on your page and the camera angle, it got your face, it don't got his face, you looking like the aggressor. And if you swipe on Baker's page, it's another picture.
Yeah,
they got him. It's 2 of them. They got him looking like he really charging CJ up, like he checking him. So the moment you put CJ on your page, that's you taking a shot at him.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 toes down, built different. So,
but CJ had said that comment also before. So I mean, it's been.
Well, I'm just going off the post.
Right.
Off the post, that's Baker taking the shot, and the comment is retaliation in my opinion. So if you post me on your page, I got the right to come comment and say what I want to say. And if I feel played enough, like CJ felt played enough, I'm gonna try to dig deep. And how you dig deep? You go to the rings. You do. And you go to the rings. You tell him you ringless. It ain't really nothing he can say. So, hey man, it's all entertainment. It's all fun and games. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I feel like Baker took the first dig, CJ retaliated.
Did you like the way CJ was that
I did.
fair shot? Like that?
I did.
Okay.
I thought it was the perfect comeback. Like, you know, you 10 toes down and you build different.
You can't even argue
but
with
you're
that.
still ringless. Hey, like, you feel me?
Like, what
it's
did
like
you
the
say
ultimate
back to
dig.
that?
Exactly. You can't say nothing. You just erase the comment and move on.
As a player, would you have responded the same way to a quarterback?
To a quarterback, I probably would have told him the same thing. Because you post me on your page.
Yeah, I
page.
agree.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't just post a picture of you diving or a picture of you celebrating and saying 10 tones down, Bill. You got me on your page in 2 slides. So I got to say something back. And I'm going to dig deep, post my ring. I might have posted mine like this.
You might have.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? So.
All right, so what have I told you about C.J. Gardner-Johnson? He has a little bit of you in him, just a little bit. He's not you, but everywhere he's gone, good things have happened. He makes plays. He hawks footballs in the air. He's right place, right time, game-changing plays. Not you, not on that level.
Right.
And he plays safety, obviously, instead of corner. But he makes good things happen wherever he started out in New Orleans, and they had 3 good teams, and he picked off Brady a couple times when they were playing Tampa.
Yep.
And then he goes to the Eagles, they go to the Super Bowl and lose, could have won the game. And then he goes to Detroit, and they go to the NFC Championship game. And then he goes back to Philly, and they win a Super Bowl. So I honor that, because that's pretty rare stuff. And it shows you wherever he's been that he has a winning impact, at least on the secondary and on the defense. So I like him, and he's made of a little bit of what you are, because he's going to take nothing from nobody.
Right.
And neither is Baker Mayfield. So this was classic clash to me, where you got 2 forces going like this. And you know what I love about Baker is that he's got that in him.
Exactly.
And not many quarterbacks have that. You didn't have that when you played. Like you're not going to brazenly, openly talk to people or wear your emotions all over your sleeve.
Or make a post on Instagram of the beat.
Yeah.
I didn't do that on social media. I was a little chirpy on the field, though. I won't lie. I probably said some things I shouldn't have.
Okay, but Baker's always been
No, he does.
way.
That mentality, it's different.
And I'm going to say it again, to the point when he re-signed with Tampa, his GM sat right next to him at the press conference and said, he's a 10 on the prick scale, and we love it, okay? So that's who he was, and you got to see it, and the prick in him put it up on social media. And the prick in him talked about it at the press conference yesterday, and he said, we don't take shit from nobody, okay? So that's become the culture of that team. And when I told you he changed the culture in ways, like Tom's team was different because he's Thomas freaking Brady.
But Tom got that in him too.
No, I know he does. I used to call him Psycho Tom. We've talked about it, how he's got a split personality. Like there's this sort of lame, guy off the field who's like the dad next door, and he's cliche ridden, and he's vanilla, and then you put him in pads and you said you'd see it in the tunnel. You'd start to see him, and he'd start turning into Psycho Tom. Yeah. And he's capable of running down to the end zone to get in somebody's face like that was for you, okay? But this guy wants to fight. This guy he's pretty crazy. When he was at Oklahoma, he wanted to fight everybody on the football field, okay? So then he's talking about their team, and I'm going to read a quick quote. He said yesterday, he was talking about the Rachaad White when there was the fumble that Baker got stripped from behind and the ball's loose and it's a game changer. And Rachaad White gives up his body to dive in. He took a shot. He's okay and he's not listed on the injury report, but it looked like he could have gotten hurt. And it's the kind of play, as a pro football player, you think twice about because you think, it's week 2. Do I want to go for that football and risk I'm gone for the rest of the year? Because it's an I'm gone play. And he made it and tore the football out of a Texans' hand.
Play. That was a huge play.
It was a huge play in the game. So Baker said yesterday, it's guys laying their body on the line. That stuff screams off the tape. Guys notice that. You might not say anything, but you nod your head like, yeah, that's the type of group we have here. We're going to fight for each other and try to pick each other up when we're down. So I love all that about Baker, but I do quickly, let me defend him. I know he's ringless, but man, when you look at his history in the playoffs, he's been really good in playoff games because he's 2-3, so they've lost 3 playoff games, and they've lost them at Kansas City after they went to Pittsburgh and won their first playoff game in Cleveland in, what was it, like 25 years when they went and upset the Steelers.
Yep.
Then they got forced to go play in the cold at Kansas City when Kansas City's flying high. And Mahomes got hurt later in the game, but it was 22-17. And then they go to Detroit and they lose 31-23. And then last year, Washington at home, it took Jaden Daniels at his rookie greatest, and it was 23-20 on a late field goal.
End of the game.
Okay, so he's won 2 playoff games, one against Philadelphia and one at Pittsburgh against the arch rival. And then just a couple of quick notes. Baker Mayfield has the highest career quarterback rating in the playoffs in NFL history. That's how well he's played. No one has a higher quarterback rating in 5. It's only 5 games, but he did that. He has the highest touchdown percentage in the postseason of any quarterback ever, meaning the percent of passes that went for touchdowns, 7%. It sounds low just as a number, but if 7% of your passes that you throw go in the end zone, no one's ever done that better than Baker Mayfield has. And then we had it the other day that last 3 years, he leads all of football in fourth quarter and overtime touchdown passes. So that's 22, and that's 4 better than anybody else. So he's doing something in clutch situations. We could argue all day whether he's the clutchest. I think he's the clutchest going right now. But my point to you is he's doing this at a high level, so I don't think he needs to drop his head on this. You know, like there's no shame in what C.J. Gardner-Johnson said to him, because his day will come, and he's been showing you know, that he's getting better and better and better in big situations.
Let me ask you this, Skip, before Cody goes.
No, go for it.
Why don't all those highest percentage in this and best in this, why don't that shit lead to wins?
Okay, but they lost 3 close games. They haven't got
so that's what I'm saying. So why don't it lead to wins though?
Okay, well, he was a Cleveland Brown the first time, and they lost at Kansas City. Well, there's no shame in that. And then to lose these games at Detroit when you're Tampa and you pushed them to the buzzer, I don't know. You're starting over with Tampa Bay, right?
Because there's something about C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Aqib Talib. Is what we got is it leads to wins.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Which I would say is clutch.
I won't even call it clutch. It's like if this group finna fight this group, it gotta be one guy who breathes. Man, come on, fam. We finna go fight these boys.
That is true.
And then everybody else be like, yeah, let's go fight. Like somebody gotta be the one who crank up the rest of the team and have the confidence through the roof so it can lead to a win. Like I like the touchdown.
Okay, well, he has won back-to-back divisions in his 2 years starting. I mean, that's not bad, right?
But hey, that's not what we going for.
Nope, that's not what you're going for.
Pertaining to the ringless comment.
Hey, this is a ring. This is a ring situation. Like CJ saying, what I do, it leads to wins. You and what you do, it don't lead to wins.
But how hard is it to really get a ring? The top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now, not one of them has a ring.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get a ring?
Yeah,
it's tough.
It's tough.
Touché.
It's tough.
Yep.
Cody?
I'll say this, back to the original question. I love this. Like, as a fan watching, like, I love watching when, you know, you can create that anger or that animosity between 2 players because it gets them going. And you know who really loves this and who should love this? as Buccaneer fans, because we can go back to that game on Monday night and we can look at all the stats and the film and the X's and O's and why they won and all these different things. The reason that Tampa Bay won that game is because of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. As soon as Baker went down and was holding his leg and C.J. walked up, and I don't know what he said, but he said something to him, and he popped up, it was over. At that point right there, it was over. And this history goes back. I mean, Baker wasn't losing that game, but they go back to that Detroit game. Before the game, C.J. said, look, this is a good Tampa Bay team. If only they had a good quarterback, they could be great.
He did.
And in that game, I know you're defending Baker, but he had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he did.
And one of them was to C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
The late one.
Yeah, true. But one of them was to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I promise you in that moment, he remembers that.
I think it was the second one. It was like 2nd and 30 from the 15 at the end of the game.
And it was a fluke.
But also some of them touchdowns he threw in the fourth quarter, them is some
That's a fair
blowouts.
point. Like,
he
you
threw
get
some
some
touchdowns
garbage
at the end, some garbage time touchdowns. So it all counts, Skip.
But at the end of the day, I think Aqib's point is, are you going to win that big game? But this right here is something for Baker. And I know that comment right there to someone else may be like, all right, man, this guy's just talking shit, whatever, we can move on. This is something that he's going to take personal. And you know how motivated he already is. I promise you he's going to go win a ring just so he can say, hey, look, I did it. And he can throw it in Gardner-Johnson's face, among other reasons, right? But it takes me back to your point with Tom Brady. I mean, I saw this firsthand. It takes me back to that interview he did when he said, if I can just create an enemy, if I can hate someone on the field, and I want to go out there and kill them. And anger for me is good. It's motivation. There are a few athletes that can do that. And Baker, in my opinion, falls in that category. And it's unique. I'd love to say that I had that to an extent. I talk a little trash on the field. But no, it's tough to unlock that in real time and still do your job as a quarterback. Baker could do that. Tom can do that. I mean, in New England, and you saw it, there was a difference between Tom Brady Monday through Saturday and then Tom Brady for 3.5 hours on Sunday. It was unbelievable. During the week, he was Tom, he was Tommy. McDaniels called him Thomas. We would talk to him, and great guy in the locker room. Loved being around him. How's your family doing? How's everything going? Called everybody babe. Hey, babe, what's up, babe? How's it going? Different guy during the week. Even on game day, we would show up. We'd go in McDaniels' office, go through the game plan, go through the script, get in the locker room. He'd start throwing and putting the pads on, working on his hip, getting loose, doing all that. As soon as Tom Brady walked through that door to go into the tunnel, something switched. And I've never seen anything like it and probably never will again in my entire life. I mean, it was like he entered somewhere in his mind a dark place that no one else can go to. And he'd go in that tunnel and it turned into, let's fucking go. And I mean, he went there and then he'd walk down the tunnel and he'd get to the grass and he'd run out. And he was one of the only quarterbacks, I think, ever that had his own theme song. And the Jay-Z song would come on, he'd run out and go, allow me to reintroduce myself, my name, and then he'd run out. And I mean, just running behind that, you would forget where you're at in the moment. And then for 3.5 hours, he would go be the greatest football player of all time. It was unbelievable to witness, and it was something that was special to be a part of. Now, I'm not saying Baker is Tom Brady. I'm not saying he has that type of mindset, but he's cut from the same cloth. He has that type of personality to where you have a leader at the quarterback position. But I agree with you, Aqib. I mean, you can do that, and you can have these stats, and you can do, throw the touchdowns and get in Gardner-Johnson's face during the game. But if it doesn't translate to wins and rings, then they're always going to have that against you.
Aqib, you are skeptical of Baker Mayfield. I sense that.
Hey, I am.
You are.
Skip. I am. It's a handful of quarterbacks who I feel like can drive this ship and win a championship.
Yep.
I don't got Baker as one of them guys.
I know
you don't have him as one of them guys. So
because he's not going to be a game manager ever. He's not built like that. If they're going to go win a chip, he's going to drive the bus all the way home. And I believe he's capable. You're close to thinking, right? You think he could pull it off?
Yeah, I mean, we had this question the other day. I believe he can lead them to a Super Bowl. Now, they're not my favorites, and there's some tough teams in the NFC he's going to have to go through, and then obviously who you're going to play in the AFC in the Super Bowl. But, I'm riding with Baker. I want him to be successful. I want him to get a ring. I really do, Skip. It's just Aqib's the only one here with one, and he knows how tough it is. So, I mean, it's not easy. And then being a quarterback and leading and having everything go right and guys staying healthy and getting hot at the right time. And there's just so many different factors that go into it. And then as a quarterback, you got to play your best.
I feel like you either have a Tom Brady, a Pat Mahomes type guy, or you have a dog-ass defense.
Yeah.
And he's not a Tom Brady, a Pat Mahomes type guy in my eyes. And he don't have a dog-ass defense. So I just don't like it, Skip.
Yeah, they have had moments of dog-ass defense, but then they lost Kinsey the other night. They're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, they got Dean starting at corner. Like, bro, that's not it.
No,
that ain't it, bro.
Yeah.
It don't look like that.
It's not that 2020 Super Bowl.
It's definitely not that defense.
I'll tell you, the thing working for them right now, though, is they're going to win their division. I truly believe that. So they're going to get to the to the playoffs. They're going to get to the tournament.
Yeah, they'll be
it's
to the
just
tournament.
the teams they're going to play and then who they're going to face if they do get to the Super Bowl is what's going to make it super tough.
I think Atlanta going to give them a run for their money.
You think so? Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that was a close game.
They
week
slid
one.
by Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's a great matchup. That's
a good point.
So.
Okay.
All I know is that he went to Atlanta and beat them with a late touchdown pass, and he went to Houston and beat a really good defense with a late touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aqib, I don't even know how you ever stay humble, because if I had a Super Bowl ring,
Yeah.
you guys would not hear the end of it. I would be CJ Garder on every
I would
post.
too.
I let Lil
And
Lee.
you got a ring?
You know,
I do.
get Kinsey, you
Look,
can
I let Lil Lee
yeah.
do the talking, man. You do all the
I'm
talking
like,
out here, man.
that is crazy. Okay, but let's move on. So Tuesday, we talked about the controversy with Tom Brady. I know that Skip was not feeling the whole owner broadcasting, but
Nope.
we did hear from Ben Johnson, obviously the coach of the Chicago Bears. So let's go ahead and play that, because he seems fine with it.
Like I said, I'm really not worried about it. I mean, we change week to week in terms of what we do. Schematically, he's going to be able to turn on the tape and see what everyone else in the world's seeing right now. Personnel-wise, really the same thing. It's not like I'm going to sit down with him and tell, hey, don't do this to Caleb Williams or you might get it. Like, I'm not going to, there's not going to be any trade secrets that are going to be exchanged. But I really don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you.
So obviously, if the coach doesn't think it's a big deal, probably not a big deal for everybody, but everybody's different. Aqib, how are you still feeling about it?
I feel like he stamped exactly what I said
Yeah.
Tuesday.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? It's a production meeting. It's part of the process, but like he said, it's not going to be any trade secrets, you know what I'm saying, getting exchanged between them. And if Tom really want to know exactly what the Bears doing, he's going to go on NFL.com and turn the tape on. Like Gil go watch tape on the Bears, and he could tell you what they're doing on offense and defense. What's up, Gil? You know what I'm saying? So it's not rocket science. If you want to find it, you can find it. You know what I'm saying? And if Ben Johnson want to tweak the protection, or if he want to tweak how they block in the run game that week, Tom won't be at practice to see that. You know what I'm saying?
How messed up would it be if he's like feeding him false information? I'd be in there like, oh yeah, we're gonna run this. We're gonna.
Yes, and then Tom's
I'd be doing the
smart enough.
opposite.
Like, bro, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I'm not using that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So, man, I just feel like, man, it's part of the process, man. He ain't gonna give him nothing that he don't already know. You know what I'm saying? Now you hear it from the coach's mouth. Hey, it is what it is. Tom is just wearing two hats. He's an owner and he's a broadcaster, bro. Everybody can't wear two hats. Tom can. Let him wear them.
Yeah, and you did say that, when we talked about it earlier, and that was kind of summed up perfectly, is everyone has access to film. You can go back and watch every single game that any coach has ever coached and what their game plan is and all these different things. It's a copycat league, too.
Right.
I mean, it is. It's everybody's running the same form of concepts on offense and the same pressure looks and coverage. There's only, so many certain ways you can run those things. The only thing that changes is the personnel and the terminology from place to place.
Yeah.
Now, what does change, and kind of give some perspective from the offensive side of things, every week you don't put your full game plan in. You don't have your entire offense in every week. If we're playing Aqib and the Broncos, and they like to play a lot of two high this week, then I'm going to put all my two high beaters in and take the one highs out and be 80-20. If I know on 3rd and 2 to 4, they're playing 80% of the time man-to-man, okay, then we're going to have 4 or 5 man plays and 1 or 2 zone plays in case they change it up. There are some trick plays, too, and gadget-type plays, and double pass and reverse and all of that. And then you do have a different first 15 every single game. What that means is your first 15 plays are scripted. Now, that'll change. It'll go first play, second play, get third down. Let's jump down to our third down category, then get back, go 3, 4, 5 all the way through. The only way they would know that is if Ben Johnson in that production meeting is telling them that, or a player like I might have done a couple times.
Yeah,
Or if
you
Tom,
told-
or
you
if Tom
told
is
him-
at practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the
And
second.
he can't do
And then
that.
the second thing that
be
you
at
do,
practice.
is if at those so those broadcasters, production meetings, or those people in production could come to Thursday practice or Friday practice, which is closed to everyone else, take some notes. But he can't do that. He can't be.
But
around the
you
organization
said though
at
on the
facility.
couch Tuesday that you would be spilling. You told him everything.
Well,
So what
I
was
would-
something that you
I
said
wouldn't
that
tell
could
them
have
the plays. Yeah, for everyone who didn't hear the show on Tuesday, I was in.
Cody's giving
I was
the
trying to
media
impress-
everything
I thought,
they wanna know.
I was sitting there saying, hey, they run a 3-4, they do this, they do that. We're going to do that to counteract. And I know my checks here. I'm thinking they're going to be in the broadcast booth. Like Kessler's a smart guy. He's going to be in the league for 20 years. All these things, right? But no, you don't
You were
do that.
kissing
You don't do
ass
that.
they.
But to the point, I mean, yes, I understand. And Skip, there is some credibility to what you said. I believe that 100%, that when he was in the owner's box with the headset on and the tablet and taking notes and allegedly meeting with Chip Kelly 3 or 4 times a week, talking about film and going over game plan, and then he goes and calls a football game against a team they're playing in a couple weeks, yes, there does seem to be some conflict of interest. I understand, but if Ben Johnson
what way though? What advantage?
I will explain.
Yeah,
all right.
but if Ben Johnson doesn't have a problem, Schottenheimer, your own head coach, said, I don't have a problem with it. The NFL, Fox, none of them have a problem with it. Then he's within the rules, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Let me hear these advantages.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, I got to preface again. For years, I defended Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. as the GOAT against Montana and then against Mahomes. So please understand, we're talking post-GOAT, okay? We're post...
Retired GOAT.
Yeah, okay? GOAT. He's the retired GOAT, yet he's still flaunting and taunting like he's the GOAT. And he is. And to your point, you can get away with just about anything if you're Tom Brady, and he's getting away with a lot right now because what he did Monday night was the biggest FU to the NFL and especially to Fox that Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. could spill out there for all the world to see. And he knows exactly what he is doing. He knows if he's wearing a coat and tie in the coach's box. That was bizarre to me. But he's going to put the headset on, which is all you need to know because a picture is worth 10 billion words. We all saw it and we're like, wait. He's actually participating in this. I told you, if from the start he had made it clear, this is just an investment, I'm going to stay out of the way, I'm an absentee owner, I never go there, I don't talk to anybody, I'm a silent partner, cool. You know, you can sort of live with that.
Well, could you imagine Tom Brady being a silent partner?
Well, yeah, I could, if he so chose, but they kept saying he's he's a tremendous asset to the franchise. Yeah. And I'm going to get to Shador in a minute and what he did to Shador because it really pisses me off. But this is just, I'll get there. But he is clearly participating. Then Pete Carroll got asked the question afterward, and he said, no, that's not accurate. But we do talk regularly. It is accurate. So you do talk to him, and he talks to Chip Kelly regularly, 2 or 3 times a week. Right. He is participating as an advisor, a sort of unofficial coach or coordinator, to the outcome of football games. So we saw this. So here's the problem. I'm going to go deeper on this. We didn't get there the other day, but this is the life I led for a long time as a media person working with star athletes. There's this unofficial deal that sometimes gets made between a powerful media voice and it's usually a quarterback or a star on defense. I don't know if you ever participated like this, but you make an unwritten deal, an unofficial deal, an unspoken deal that I will give you lots of off-the-record stuff, behind-the-scenes stuff, in return for protection where you will not criticize me. I'll be off limits to criticism from you. And that's often the deal that the biggest broadcasters strike with the quarterback and the head coach and maybe the coordinator in these production meetings. Not just me. I don't know if you've ever experienced this or felt it, but I lived it for a long time because it's a very tricky business because I don't want to be handcuffed by a quote-unquote deal I made with somebody, but I do want the information. So in a lot of production meetings, sometimes, especially as it breaks up and you kind of hang around a little bit with the head coach or coordinator, they might tell you exactly how they feel about a Caleb Williams right now. Like, the truth is, blah, blah, I don't think he could ever do this or that or whatever, because you need to know, how does Ben Johnson really feel about Caleb Williams? We're about to talk about that. How does Caleb really feel about his new coordinator? Is he in over his head? Does Caleb believe that? Because it can be invaluable to your commentary if you know the behind the scenes, what's really going down in his head and his head, and in his heart about what's happening. So Tom is going to get none of that. And it does handicap him in some ways. Sure, he can watch the tape just the way you can watch the tape, the way I could or Gil could watch the tape. And you can see a lot of things on tape. But I still say, this is just to my ear, and maybe maybe I'm different. I don't know football the way you know football, but I know it pretty well because I've been around a lot of people who really know football for a long time. And I've learned a lot from a whole lot of people going back to Don Shula and Bill Walsh and Tom Landry. So I know what I'm seeing, and I think Tom is just pure vanilla and Captain Obvious as a broadcaster, where everything he says, I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously. And it's gee whizzy to me. It's not smart and it's not edgy at all because he is literally not allowed as an owner to criticize anything on the football field. Not anything. Can't criticize a player or a coach or especially a referee. Well, your hands are both hands are tied behind your back. And yeah, he's the GOAT, so you appreciate what the GOAT tells you, and he's going to see things on the fly, whatever, defensive breakdown, and he can clearly at least acknowledge that they busted the coverage.
You can get his honest view on players.
Right. He just can't go there. He can't be what I know he could be, and you've heard him behind closed doors. Yeah. I mean, he's edgy, man. Yeah. He can be scathing in his criticism, but you're not going to get any of that. So it offends me personally that I know I'm not getting full-on GOAT, because he could be the GOAT broadcaster if he was able to.
I don't think we don't get that take from Troy, do we? Did he tell us, like, hey, this coach really don't fuck with this player, or he don't tell us the inside stuff that he get?
I know Troy pretty well, and so I get it. Like, I know the code for what he's saying.
Right.
Like, you're right.
And Romo neither, so I think...
Now, I think Romo does. I just think he lets it fly. I do.
But I think Tom brings to the table as a analyst his knowledge of the game. That's what he brings. He could tell you why this play happened.
Like, you're not listening for his feet.
You ain't listening for who likes who or what their relationship are. You listening because you know he know the game, and he's gonna break that part down for you. So some guys might win the crowd over with their inside information, but shit, I grew up under Bill. Tom grew up under Bill. Bill ain't never getting nobody no information.
Nothing.
So he's not. Tom don't feel like he need that inside information.
You're right.
I'm gonna break the football game down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How this coach feel about this quarterback and what's really going on inside their building? Hey, watch Skip show for that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want the info? Watch Skip show, because Skip gonna know. He plugged the fuck in. He gonna know and he gonna tell you. So that's why you watching this game. I'm gonna give you X's and O's,
I hear
the
you.
Y's and the why nots. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like he do a good job. Some people don't like him. Skip don't like it. But I love listening to Tom. I think he do a great job in the Super Bowl. He all of it's vanilla.
Okay, but
I call games. They told me specifically, be vanilla. Act like you're talking to a bunch of second graders. That's what they tell us to do. Be vanilla. So it's everybody who calls. I listen to Troy. I listen to Chris Collinsworth. It's like I already listened to this game before.
Okay.
Chris, you said the same thing last year.
Yeah.
So, hey,
you think they're all vanilla, and you have to.
It's all vanilla. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they tell you to be. You can't really get down into it like that. So I don't know. I'd rather listen to Tom than listen to them other guys.
Well,
but you played with him and you played with him.
So I might be biased.
Okay, you are. But you are. And you know what? I love it that you are, because
loyalty.
When you go to war with that guy, it's the ultimate, man. It's just like that's it. I mean, you can't get any better, and you are both blessed to experience that, right? Okay, so I get that, but I didn't play with him, and so I got two other issues real quick. The Shedeur issue, and I tweeted about this, and then I posted about this, and now I know for sure that he is participating full on, blatantly. He is advising the Las Vegas Raiders. Mm-hmm. So, because of Dion, connected to Tom mentored Shedeur all the way up through high school. They got together several times. They talked a lot. They texted often. And he taught Shedeur a lot of what he knows about playing quarterback. So I was shocked. That's all I knew from a distance, and partly from Dion, who I know pretty well, that Tom had participated closely in the development of Shedeur. So I'm a Shedeur believer. I thought he should have been the first overall pick. So obviously, as the Raiders start to pick down the way, I'm thinking, Tom will just tell him, Tom will just say, hey, we got to at least, so we get to the third round. I'm sure Tom is on the phone saying, hey, Pete, you got to go. Third round, fourth round, 7 times the Las Vegas Raiders passed on Shedeur. They had 7 picks where they could have taken him before Cleveland did, and they did not. And that kid they took, Tonka Hemingway, they took in the 4th round. Tonka Hemingway out of South Carolina, maybe he'll turn into a great player as a defensive tackle. But I'm like, Tonka Hemingway over Shedeur Sanders? Are you kidding me? And now it comes clear, because then I thought, well, maybe he's not really participating. Maybe they don't. They say he's a tremendous asset, and I'm thinking, well, what's the name? Spytek from Tampa, right? Yeah, and Gerald knew him when we were talking to Gerald on the show the other day. But I'm thinking, well, Tom knows Spytek really well from Tampa, so surely he would have called Spytek before the draft and said yay or nay on at least giving him his 2 cents on Shedeur's this, that, and the other. Yes, this, no, that, whatever. And clearly Tom said a big no to Spytek and to Pete Carroll. That's how it came across to me. And again, I love him as a football player, but I hated that, because that's got to be on Tom. He's got to take some responsibility now that he's wearing a headset in the coach's box for no Shedeur as the backup quarterback to Geno, because they traded for Kenny Pickett late, so he's now the backup quarterback. But would I love to see Shedeur as the backup to Geno? Yeah, I'd take that. I'd run with it, man.
I skipped that. That's a perfect point. And I did a show leading up to the draft, and they asked us, perfect landing spot for Shedeur. Where would be your ideal spot for him? Raiders were number 1. Okay. Because of those reasons, relationship with Tom Brady. I might be biased, but Pete Carroll was at USC. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. You sit behind Geno. Sure, I know he wants to start right away, and I'm not saying that he doesn't, Aqib, when we talked about that the other day, but different than Lamar in Baltimore, Geno, we don't know how long he's going to be there, right? And it could be one of those situations where if it doesn't go good, he could be starting by week 4 or 5 in Las Vegas. And then the other issue, too, or the other thing I think would have been great is you're playing for Chip Kelly. And you think of Chip Kelly, you might think, okay, it's the run and gun and the West Coast, and we're going to throw the ball on the spread. Go look at that year at Ohio State that they won the national championship. They were the most balanced offense in the country. They ran the football to take pressure off of Will Howard, and then they threw it over your head with athletes on the outside. I think it would have been a perfect landing spot for Shedeur. So I'm with you on that. I think the Raiders would have been great. I was literally, every time after that first round, I figured they were going to take Ginty in the first, but after that, when Shedeur got out of the first, I was like, all right.
Here we go.
Vegas is taking him no matter what. And I was sitting there in my living room with the post on Instagram, getting ready to fire it off, saying, this is why I thought, the Raiders were going to take Shedeur, and they kept skipping him and skipping him and skipping him. And then, obviously we know what happened. But I'm with you on that. That was a little frustrating for me. I wish the Raiders would have taken him. I think that would have been a great spot for him.
All right. Final issue on Tom Brady versus the National Football League.
Okay.
So on Monday, the NFL feels like it needs to issue a statement. Tom did nothing wrong being in the coach's booth. Well, obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. He owns 5% of the football team. He can do whatever he wants. He can go on the sideline. He can do whatever. That's not the issue. I wanted my former network, Fox, to issue a statement and say, we do have a problem with this. That's the problem, is what it does to Fox, and the bad look that it makes for the NFL as a potential conflict of interest. Whether you think so or not, it smacks of it. It makes you sit back and say, well, that's not exactly right, Tom. You can't do it that way, because it was so blatant that he's just sitting up in the box. Okay, so then right on top of that, the NFL has to issue a second statement on Monday, because Tom announces on Monday, after his big appearance on, it's Tuesday now, after the big appearance on Monday Night Football, Tom announces that he's starting a flag football tournament with the Saudis, with it's like Live Golf. It's with the Saudis.
There's going to be some money in that.
There's going to be, but Live took such a beating early on, the Live Golf League, obviously.
Like going against the NFL.
Yeah, but partnering with the Saudis. Oh, really? Because there's some issues going on there. But the NFL had to say, just for the record, this is not an NFL venture. This is Tom's venture, and the current players who have said that they would play in this, and there are several of them.
Well, they want to go to the Olympics.
Who is
Tyreek,
it?
one of them.
Tyreek, CD,
Saul.
Saquon, Max Crosby, C-Mac. Okay, so a bunch, and the NFL said they are all going to have to get permission from their teams to play in this event. It's like a tournament, like a 3-team tournament. So my point is, Tom's kind of Bigfoot in the NFL on that and requiring the NFL to say, timeout, this isn't our deal. This is his deal, okay? Just for the record, he is flaunting and taunting. That's just me.
I mean, it's a good point that you made with Live Golf. I mean, obviously, anybody went to Live Golf, you're kind of going against the PGA.
Yeah.
So, similar. Are you going to go play in this flag football league by Tom Brady when Tom Brady works as a broadcaster, as an owner, supposed to be a big face of the NFL. Now he's created a separate league.
And the NFL wants to create its own flag league going forward, right?
Tom should have just done that with the NFL.
Okay.
I never thought I'd see the day that Skip Bayless was so hard on Tom Brady.
I know.
Let me ask you this, Skip. Going back to the broadcaster question. So you think, I know he's hindered because he can't criticize, but you think that would make him a better broadcaster if he could sit there and just talk about how poor the reffing or how poor the officiating is or how bad this guy's playing?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, I would trust him more. I don't trust him now.
Okay.
That's just me, but maybe I know too much in my own way to not, maybe the second graders, they trust him like he's the GOAT, man. I'll listen to the GOAT. All right.
Well, we have a ton of drama, obviously, to talk about, but I want to get into the football of some things. So I want to bring it back to Ben Johnson because I think he has more to worry about right now than the drama with Tom Brady. Obviously, they're starting 0-2. This man leaves the Lions for the opportunity to develop Caleb Williams, right? Johnson was excited to work with this promising young quarterback. I kind of know how you feel about Caleb Williams. You're like, this is not a promising young quarterback at all. But I do have some questions because he went on the media and said there's a practice issue right now. You're the head coach. If there's a practice issue, who's at fault, right? That's your fault. But who's to say? So, Cody, I want to know, who's more to blame right now for the Bears' 0-2 start? Is it Caleb Williams or is it Ben Johnson?
It's tough to pick one right now. You go 0-2. There's a lot more. There's a lot more things going on than just the head coach and the quarterback. But I do think they both play a part in this. And I'll start with Caleb. Look, I know it's only his second game this year and his second time in this offense, and it's going to take time to develop. But it being his second year in the NFL, I was hoping to see more through 2 weeks. And I know you got to get comfortable with the play calling. You got to get comfortable with how Ben Johnson's going to call the game, and it's different in practice and preseason than when live bullets start flying. I understand that, but I think the most frustrating part right now for Bears fans is that the talent is there. And I know Aqib might not agree with this, but you see flashes of how good he can be. He'll make a play to where, you're like, wow, this guy has it, and then he's too inconsistent, and you don't see it again. So it's, you're sitting there like, just do this every time. Be more consistent. The arm talent's there. He can make all the throws on the field, from the pocket, outside of the pocket. I love the way that he can take off and run and create with his legs. He makes otherworldly throws when he's on the run. I mean, he can move his body and throw falling away that other guys can't do. Right? He can throw guys open, and he has that big play capability. Go ahead.
He has that.
He does. No, he does. It's within him.
Has he shown that in the NFL?
He does, but that's the problem. That's what I'm saying is he shows you that for 1 or 2 plays, and then he has 3 or 4 plays where he misses DJ Moore wide open. And he overthrows someone on the sideline, and it's like, this isn't year one anymore. And the draft class you're in, Jaden Daniels is doing this, and Bo Nix is doing this, and you're not there yet. And Drake May's starting to look better, and you're not getting there. Some of the issues I do have, though, and things he needs to clean up with that, is I think the accuracy comes from his footwork. There's times that his eyes don't match his feet, where he's looking one way and his feet are going this way, and he's not timing up with it, and then you quick throw it, and then when you don't, extend your arm and finish, the ball sails, and he's missing a lot of throws high right now. The other thing, too, is he's holding the ball too long, and he's not having those anticipatory throws. That's the number one thing in the NFL, is you got to anticipate. You can't wait for a guy to get open. You have to throw him open before he gets out of his break, because if you don't, then guys like Aqib, Talib are taking it for 6 the other way, or at very worst, knocking it down. So that's the frustrating part with Caleb, and that's where the blame comes in with him. And again, it's only a second game with Ben Johnson, so I'm going to give him time. But now looking at Ben Johnson and where I blame him a little bit, he's the head coach, so it's going to fall on your shoulders. And I said it before, the record, that 0-2 start only falls around 2 people, the head coach and the quarterback. That will follow them for life, whatever the record is. But with Ben Johnson right now, I'm still bought in with him. I believe in the Bears. I really do. It's his second game ever, not only with the Bears, but as a head coach. He's never been a head coach before. We're watching him in real time develop as a play caller, as a head coach, how to handle a locker room, how to handle adversity. We're going to see how he reacts. And a lot of people on Twitter were upset with him about they thought he big-time Goff at the end and kind of, dapped him up and didn't talk to him and goes to the locker room, calls him the quarterback instead of, Goff with the relationship they have, calls his team out, says we are not showing championship practice habits and guys aren't finishing plays. Some people might not like that. I love that. I think that's awesome. You've got to hold your team accountable. I would be worried if he got in there and went, you know what, we're good. It's only week 2. We're going to figure it out. Take some positives from this. You can say that in the meeting room, but that's not authentic. Be authentic.
But as a player, if you're having trouble in practice, if it's not, is that
that's the coach's fault?
That's a leadership
No, it is.
issue,
It's the
right?
coach's fault, and it's also him saying, hey, I got to be better myself.
Right.
We're not practicing the right way because I'm not doing it the right way, but he's also learning in real time how to do this. Now, I will say this. The third issue that I have and the third group to blame is that defense right now. That defense is playing very bad. I thought in the first 3 quarters of that Minnesota game, I said, okay, this is that Bears defense we're used to seeing. This is how they need to play football. In the last 5 quarters, they've given up 73 points. They gave up a 50-burger to the Lions the other day. Jared Goff threw 5 touchdown passes. They averaged 8.8 yards per play. The Lions did. That is not winning football if you're Chicago.
No.
Skip, they averaged over 10 yards per play in the second half. That is every time the Lions snap the ball, they got a first down in the second half. You're not going to win any games. I don't care who your head coach and who your quarterback is. So they got to get those fixed. When you're 0-2, everyone's going to point their fingers everywhere. But I will say this about Caleb, and I think that's shown leadership with him, is he got in the media and he said, hey, I'm going to point the finger here first before I point it elsewhere. So that's stuff to build off of. I'm not fully out on the Bears. It's going to get tougher and it's going to get worse before it gets better. But, I hope they can figure it out.
That's good he pointed at himself because he the damn culprit.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's
You've
a
never
quarterback.
liked him.
It's
You've
a
never
quarterback-driven league, man.
Yeah.
If you're not driving the bus, then hey, the guy's gonna look at you. I feel like Ben Johnson is doing what he's supposed to do, man. They coming out, they scoring early in games. That means he's putting together an awesome first 15. And Caleb, the flashes that you're showing, that's through that first 15 and first 2 drives. He's looking great. You know what I'm saying? Then once the defense see how y'all gonna play as they adjust, then it's nothing. That's when you as a quarterback, you gotta fucking do a little something. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he big time in Jared Goff, not shaking his. That's a sign of a good leader. We don't want that buddy friendly shit.
Agreed.
That's why we lost the Super Bowl because Sean McVay was on that buddy friendly shit, telling Bill how much I love you and how much I look up to you all for 30 minutes before the game, and then he came out there and whooped our ass.
Really? You believe that?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Like, bro, it's, hey, as the leader of men, and we finna fight these other men, don't go tell him how much you love him and how much you, tell him that shit after the game.
Yeah.
Because some people walking past and they just see you just kissing his ass and hey. Like, bro, we finna look at these boys like that oozes down through the team. So I feel like as a head coach, be an asshole. You wouldn't see Bill doing that shit.
True, you wouldn't.
You would never see. That's why he got so many chips. You won't see Andy Reid doing that shit.
Yeah.
He just a quiet to himself. I play football.
You're forbidden.
So I feel like Ben Johnson is doing a good job leading men right now.
Yeah.
They got a great first 15. I won't put it all on Caleb. You could say the O-line could do better. They could run the ball better.
Yeah.
And the defense damn sure can do better. You just said they gave up 73 points in the last 5-6 quarters or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They damn sure could do better. But I don't think you said, is it Caleb or is it Ben? It's definitely not Ben. You watch the tape, in the second half of games, guys are running free, and Caleb are missing them. It's wide open throws to be thrown. He threw 1 interception this year. It's a wide open guy. He overthrow the ball, interception. So, hey, early, one of our first or second shows, Gil was talking about it's plays that quarterbacks has to make to get your team over the hump. It's going to be a play in the third quarter, a third down. We get this, we continue this drive, we score a touchdown. We might come out win that game. It's just plays that change games, and Caleb is not making any of those plays to change any of those games. So Caleb or Ben, I'm definitely putting the blame on Caleb.
I am with Aqib on this one.
Okay.
And I did back Caleb to be the first overall pick because I did like so much of what he did dating back to his true freshman year at the University of Oklahoma and then on to USC Heisman. There's something wrong with this quarterback, with this young quarterback. It's not translating. That ooze verb that you used, he doesn't ooze into the locker room. He's unto himself. He's kind of like a solo act, and he's got a little bit of Michael Vick in him. He's not Michael Vick, but his ability to escape the pocket is it's the best in football right now. Now he doesn't run down the field like he's not going to hurt you run with a 40-yard dash down the field, but his ability to get loose in the pocket is unbelievable to me, where he escapes with strength and athletic quickness, where I'm like, wow, that's rare, man. Then what happens? Well, he keeps running around, and he's either going to miss somebody by 15 yards or throw it. He doesn't make a lot of big mistakes, but he misses a lot of open receivers. Mm-hmm. So it's plays that change football games. So to your point, first 15, well, he opens up on Monday night against Minnesota, and with the first 15 from his new coordinator, the genius, the boy wonder, amazing. He goes 10 of his first 10. And you say, oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, he's rehabilitated. What did he take last year? 58 sacks. He's not going to do that. Well, he's only taken 6 sacks through the first 2 games, so he's on pace for 50-ish sacks.
Yeah.
So that would,
some of those are on the O-line.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, some were. But now we're talking about what is the quarterback made of? Mm-hmm. Who is he? What is he?
Right.
And how do you respond to the quarterback in your locker room? And he paints his nails black and all that. And there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe there's not a lot right with it. You know, like maybe you look at it like, what the hell, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to respect your leader.
Like, come on. What? You're it. You are the face of our franchise. You're the first pick in the draft. Are you with us or apart from us? Or what are you? The greatest thing about Tom Brady was he was so much a part of the locker room. He made you feel like you were together. You know,
Peyton too.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get in the locker room with those guys, and Jared Goff coming down with the DB, making jokes, showing us something. Oh, look at it. Like, it's that leadership oozes throughout the locker room.
Oozes.
You know what I'm saying? You could feel it. You know what I'm saying? You could feel his confidence, and when he confident, it's like, oh shit, we gonna win this game.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's coming from Chicago.
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
I don't think
I watched the
going
TV and he looked like a nervous wreck walking around. Like it just don't look very confident.
That's a good point.
And doubt was just seeping.
Well, you know where I think that comes from though, is because, and this happens to a lot of guys that get to the league, was a 5-star in high school, balled out. Goes to Oklahoma, 5-star. He becomes the guy. They fall in love with him. Goes to SC.
I mean, like immediately the guy. Yeah.
Goes to USC, wins the Heisman Trophy with Lincoln. Even the next year, they struggle and only win 6 or 7 games, but he still has great stats. Then he's a number 1 overall pick in the draft. Everything has been like this his entire career. Mm-hmm. Then he gets to Chicago in year 1, and look, I wasn't in the building, and I don't know if what Caleb said is 100% true or not, but he said I had to watch film by myself. I had to learn how to watch film. I had to learn how to prepare. It was a terrible culture and everything that was in place. So you're going like this, and then you fall off that cliff, and you have to figure out how to handle adversity. And we're watching in real time both Ben Johnson and Caleb trying to turn around an organization that's been bad for a while. That's not easy to do. And I was in Cleveland, so I've seen that firsthand, how tough it is when you get around a bad program. That shit is from the top down. It's everyone. So it's tough to flip it. No, go ahead.
But it's who you are. Yeah. Because Jared Goff could tell that same story.
So he was Joe Burrow.
He was the guy. He was the number 1 overall pick.
He was.
He got to St. Louis, and he had Jeff Fish. And let him tell you about Jeff Fish. He's like, bro, I did everything by myself. Like, Jeff Fish, like, that wasn't a good situation.
Agreed, but then they went and got him McVay.
Exactly.
And then we saw what happened. That's why I'm saying Johnson.
So they went and got you Ben Johnson. And, and when you went and got McVay, they started off 2-0. That shit, you can immediately see it. This shit cracking. He get the offense, and this shit is cracking.
Yeah.
When McVay get on his ass, he like, oh, yes, sir, I got you. He looking him in his eyes, and he taking the criticism, and he fucking winning games. They immediately was in the playoffs. This not that situation. The Bears fucking suck. They still suck with Ben Johnson. It looked like, oh, this is a good system. This shit sucked, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't disagree.
It's who you are, bro. It's who you are.
My whole point is just the timing of things. I think another thing with that, too, is, and it doesn't get talked about enough, and it's not everybody, but now these college players, to your point, not taking criticism, that NIL money and you know, who they are before they get to the league. I mean, they're damn pro players before they even get to the NFL. Right. Some of those guys come in like, man, I don't need this shit. Like, I'm already paid. I don't, you know, I already got my money. I got my check. I got, you know, whatever it may be. I'm not saying Caleb's that guy, but I think to that point, it's tough for them to get through to Caleb with some of this stuff because of the personality he has. And he is. He made a ton of money at USC. I was there. I witnessed it firsthand with the NIL money.
Yep.
And that will give your ego, you know, something that maybe it's not, and it's tougher to humble those guys in the NFL.
Jaden Daniels make a ton of money in college?
He did. That's why I said not everybody's
it's
like
who
that.
you are,
no,
bro.
Exactly.
It's who you are. And Caleb Williams is just not that guy.
Okay, but to your first point,
Yeah.
we talked last week about Arch Manning. He sat for 2 whole years at Texas and couldn't beat out a guy who went in the 7th round. And I'm like, what? Because if you're that guy, if you're generational, if you're going to revolutionize the position because of your last
that
name,
guy, yeah.
you would just step in as a true freshman and it would be over, right? You would step in and make things happen. When Caleb got his shot as a true freshman against Texas at the Cotton Bowl, it's their biggest game of the year.
He was that guy.
He was that guy, and he just took the game over.
I remember watching.
His talent is undeniable to me. He's got a big arm and supreme athletic ability, and yet the intangibles, the leadership,
That's what it is.
it's just missing or lacking. Maybe it's just lacking. Can you be taught that? No, you can't. Can somebody coach that into you? Not to me. You either have it or you don't. It's a life that it's a human thing. You're either you have it inside you or you don't.
And it's not kids you're dealing with. Like Marcus Russell was good with the kids, with teenagers and shit.
That's true.
Once you get to the league, you got to deal with people like Leave. I'm the first locker in here. As soon as you come in, what them nails looking like, Caleb? Like, we just playing around. It's just grown men. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with grown men firing your ass on the daily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me see what that set look like. What you got, them French tips? Like, you know what I'm saying? We just going to kick jokes. You got to be able to handle that shit in the league.
You do.
And as a quarterback, shit, we got on Peyton ass. We got on Tom ass. We got on Jared Goff ass. That's just everybody get it. They got on me. It's just part of the culture in the locker room. You got to be able to handle it. And everybody can't handle that shit.
No. So to your point, we're talking about scripting. He goes 10 for his first 10, and then against Minnesota, he was 11 for 29 the rest of the way. Well, it's not good enough. You know, like that's on you.
Yeah.
So to your question, right now it's early. It's 2 games, but it's obviously a lot on the defense too, but it's mostly on the quarterback. All right, now let me say this about the Ben Johnsons of the world. This is the one thing I never got about the game you guys played at the highest level. There's no real pipeline to develop head coaches. The only way you can do it is the coordinator. No, it's like well, Ben Johnson's the next genius. He's a boy wonder.
Next guy,
So he should be a great head coach. Why?
No.
What makes him a great head coaching candidate? Has he ever been a head coach? No.
Right.
Did he coach college football, a head coach? No. Was he a head coach in high school? No.
Right.
Did he ever step in for Dan Campbell and do head coach thing? No. No, Dan Campbell did it all. So as you guys both know, the head coaching duties are so different than a coordinator's duties
100%.
Where you have to deal with the media, you have to deal with internal problems. If you've had a fight with your wife or what, I don't know, you got to hear this stuff and you got to talk through it. And you got to make choices, big choices on the fly as the CEO of a locker room and of an entire football organization. Well, this is all new to Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And
showing.
You made a great point the other day about sometimes it's just how you carry yourself in the locker room. Do you look the part? And Mike McDaniel, to me, from the start, I'm like, him?
Yeah.
He looks like he could be a ball boy. Like seriously. I looked at the first team picture of Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. I'm like, he looks like he's the assistant trainer or so,
or
like
somebody's son.
Right, or somebody's son. Like what? And so I look at Ben Johnson's background. So at North Carolina, he walked on as a quarterback. Didn't ever get to play, but good for him. He tried. He was a good high school quarterback, as so many guys were. Yeah, okay.
He tries.
And then
give him a little. Give him a little he's good in high school.
So then,
Friday Night Lights, baby.
So you'll love this. So then Ben Johnson gets his degree in math and computer science, and for a year out of college, he works as a software developer in Durham, North Carolina. So he just tries to go into the workforce as a software guy because he's smart. Well, does that qualify you to be a head football coach in the National Football League? It might qualify you to be a good play caller and designer and schemer, right? It might, because you can use your analytics. But and again, I'm not condemning him because we don't know. It's just way too early to jump to any conclusion. But at some point, you have to command a football team, command the locker room.
Yep.
if Aqib Talib is in the locker room, you have to convince him with what you're saying to the football team behind closed doors that you are in charge and in control, right?
Yep.
And so I don't know. He's just another one of those, he's the hot coordinator, but the pipeline to create and develop head coaches in the National Football League is kind of flawed because there is no real pipeline.
Right. So, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Sometimes it doesn't.
And
that's why people would rip it because there have been some disasters. But when Jimmy Johnson took over the Cowboys, he'd won a national championship at the U, man.
Yep.
And I knew he could head coach a football team.
Hell yeah.
Right? You just knew because when he walked in the door, everybody's like, ooh.
Right.
You know, like,
but then with Sean McVay, you didn't know. Right?
Yeah, like,
didn't know.
you have to give them
no
opportunities,
idea.
though.
Yeah.
Like,
You have no idea if Sean could lead these guys or not. But shit, you go in that building, and Sean is a fucking great leader of men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He run that building. He oozes confidence. He know what he's talking about. He know how to handle this guy opposed to handle this guy. It's just a way you got to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if Ben Johnson could do it yet.
But are you putting it on Ben Johnson right now?
No, just it's on Caleb. I'm just making the point that,
Okay.
that he's the X factor. You know, like he's unknowable.
I don't see the team. I don't see Ben Johnson has lost the locker room. You know, it's like Mike McDaniels, he lost the locker room.
It feels
you can see it from the outside, and he lost them guys.
Go ahead, Aqib.
So I don't feel like Ben has lost them guys yet. So until you see something that shows like, Ben lost these guys. You know what I'm saying?
But I hope Mike didn't lose A-Chain tonight, right?
I know, you got
But like, A-Chain are walking 50 yards. Nah, come on, don't do me like that.
But to your point, Skip, and I know, I'm not going to say the way that Mike McDaniel looks, and everyone's going to look a certain way. But the problem is when he does that goofy shit in the meeting, interview, it's funny when you're winning, but when you lose, that immediately gets flipped on you.
Hell yeah.
And guys don't respect that. Like grown men who go out there and put their bodies on the line and get their ass kicked every Sunday don't want to come back and hear these funny one-liners from your coach. Even though, okay, it's a little comedic relief, I get it. Like Bill wouldn't do that.
No.
Some of these great Nick Saban, you ever hear him say some shit like that? Absolutely not. And those are leader of men. But to your other point, I know there's no pipeline, but that was a great, call on that. McVay.
Yeah.
Like you have to give them a shot. And there's
coordinators.
There's coordinators that are head coach. Don't work out. Like Josh McDaniels. I love Josh, but he's tried the head coaching thing twice.
Didn't work.
I'm just going to be a coordinator. That's fine. And there's great money in that.
Vance Joseph, a great D coordinator.
Yeah.
But when he was our head coach, like we thought that shit was a joke.
Yeah.
Like he clearing his throat, like every other word is like in front of the team. We like, bruh, what the fuck going on, bruh? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just wasn't confident up there talking to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
First of all, that confidence, you got to be confident enough to lead these grown ass men. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't feel that confidence, we gonna blow you off, bro. We already millionaires, make 10 million, he make 15 million, he make 6, he make 20. Like we already full of our fucking self. Somebody gotta fucking lead us, and they got that the leadership, the confidence gotta be there from the coach, and then it has to be there from the quarterback.
Yeah, it got so bad for me last night about Ben Johnson because I don't know enough about him as a head coach. I even looked up his height and weight just to see, because I don't know how big he is.
His stats, I'm like, what are you walking in?
Physical look like.
But he is.
This guy sucks.
So now we need to know, what's his height and weight?
6'1", 195.
Yeah,
He's not.
Okay, he's not
Mike
small.
McDaniel looks like
Skinny
a
lean.
tiny guy.
Yeah. How tall is Mike McDaniel? I see him as 5'8". Like when I see him on the media conference,
Yeah,
I'm like, is he 5'8"?
But Bill not a tall guy. He's bad.
But he still got that presence.
But Bill got that fucking presence. Like, hey, I don't play with nobody.
Yeah.
He got a way of showing you. He start the meetings off. I told you before.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just start the meeting off. Let me just get on Gronk ass, just so everybody can know I'm not fucking playing today.
Or Tom's ass.
Or Tom ass, just to let everybody know I'm not fucking playing. Let me call out, leave. Hey, leave. They got this fucking Josh Gordon. Can you handle this shit or not? Hell yeah, I can handle it. All right. With whoop, and then Josh Gordon roasted me that day. But
So are you saying this, and before we move on, Kinsey, so you're saying, all right, you're blaming Caleb. Are you out on Caleb? You think there's no shot, even with
he's been out on
what he had to
be
overcome
fair,
to now? You think you're done?
I don't think the locker room is ever gonna buy in on Caleb.
Yeah,
just
I hear
from
you.
the personality, the type of guy. I don't think the locker room is ever gonna get behind that shit and feel like, oh, we can win the chip with this nigga.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it.
Yes, just from the film standpoint, I like him. I hope he can turn around, but I hear that. I mean, he has the talent to do it. It's just, can you do it? There's a lot of guys that are talented that don't have
that talent ain't
the mental
shit.
side.
Everybody, all 2,000, the club of 2,000 in the league, everybody's talented. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Yeah, Aqib came, I think, preseason and was feeling like Caleb was never going to be it, so we'll find out. But, okay,
Good.
the Bears are playing your Cowboys.
They are.
And Skip. So, Dak has kind of got a little spark under him. 549 yards in 2 games. Their offense is looking pretty nice. How are you feeling? Cowboys at Bears, who wins, Skip?
All right, you can laugh at me if you so choose.
Don't pick the Bears, Skip.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
I was like, Skip,
Get
this is
shit
the
out.
chance that you ride for the boys.
I just want to make it clear for me and what I think this team can be, this is a huge game.
Okay.
And it's a little huge game if you want to put it as a little huge, but it's crucial for the rest of the season. This is the one game that I circled where you got to go win this game.
Yeah, you do.
They're better than Chicago. They're a point and a half dog at Chicago, but you should get 3 for home field. They're just better. And I believe that they can win this game by 10 points. So I'm going to go I'm going to go 30-20. I think that's what they can do. Okay. I don't think they can go 52, but 30-20. And that's all I need because Green Bay is coming to town a week from Sunday. And I do believe, and I'll go on the record right now, I thought we could win at Philly, and we should have, but CD dropped 4 passes. I believe we can beat the Green Bay Packers just on revenge blood game, just on Micah. I think Micah will suddenly motivate Dallas as much as he has been motivating Green Bay. So that's just, I'm on the record early, but obviously we lost. We're still down Deron Bland. There's no way he's going to play. So we're down our best corner, and I don't know what Diggs is doing now. He's sick this week. He missed practice because he's sick. I get sick of watching him run after receivers, but that's just me. Okay, so he made me sick. So I should be on the injured list because I'm sick too. But the point is that Kevontae Turpin should play. CD is going to play. George Pickens is going to play. We have, dare I say, an explosive offense because to your point, Dak is playing at a supremely high, it's early, but a supremely high level, as he has when he stayed healthy through the 23 season. He finished second in MVP. Well, he might make a run at MVP, but they're going to have to back it up with some wins.
And if you look at his stats from 2023, first 2 games versus now, he's almost doubled his yards right now. So
Good
he's
stat.
looking,
I love that.
He's looking crazy.
All
He
right.
can keep it up.
Okay, so we lost our starting center, who's really good, Cooper Beebe. He was a good pick by Jerry and company, 3rd-round choice last year as a rookie. And yet Brock Hoffman, they have as a backup. He started 9 games. I think he's a good player, like a decent player, where you can plug him in and he won't shame you, he won't embarrass you, he won't humiliate you and get Dak hit. I think he'll play pretty well. So the point is, you have to figure out the defense. It looked like Eberflus's zone. They just didn't know what they were doing half the time. I don't know. It just scared me, but it worked at Philly. So I'm going to have to hope that it works against Caleb. And you got to keep Caleb in the pocket if you can. And although sometimes it's better if you let him go and then let him make a mistake. But I like Dallas a lot. And yet, you better. This is a you better game. Because, just real quick before you go. If you look down the schedule, Green Bay's tough, obviously, and most people will think they'll lose that game. Yeah. But then after that, they go at Jets, at Carolina, then home Washington, and they always play the team that used to be that other nickname. Yeah. They play them tough historically. So I give them a shot. Then they have a game at Denver I don't give them a shot at, but they come back on a Monday night and play Arizona, and then they have a bye and a Monday night game against Las Vegas. I'm just telling you, if you make sure you get Chicago and you could pull off one against Green Bay, you'd be right back on track to be a pretty big story, right?
I feel it. It sounds
What do you have the score, though, tonight?
I'll go 30-20. It's Sunday.
This weekend.
And it's the big 4:25 Eastern game. So, yeah. All right, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I like the Cowboys. I say 27-20.
Okay.
It sounds like it's close, but I think it'll be like a 27-13, and Caleb will do his infamous bullshit.
I hope he does.
4th quarter touchdown like he always do, and it'll make it look a little better, 27-20. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Cowboys is playing good. That offense is looking very explosive right now. You got that 2-headed monster on the outside.
Yep.
I think that's just going to continue to build throughout the season. And surprisingly, to me, they running the ball well this year.
They do.
And the Bears are not stopping anything, let alone stopping the run. They just not playing good defense. So I think that offense continue to shine. That Bears defense continue to struggle. Caleb have a third quarter turnover that kind of flipped the game and let the Cowboys score, get the ball back, score, kind of get it out of reach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to ride with the Cowboys, man. And this will be another one of the 8 wins that I give them.
You give them
It's a bridge year. It's gonna be a great offensive year. When we play the good teams, they're going to lose. When they play the mediocre teams, they're going to split. The bad teams like the Bears, they're going to win. So I give them 7-8 wins this year.
So you got
another one.
Green Bay 49-14 at Dallas, right?
39-20. It's a blowout.
Yeah, I just got done saying that I'm a Bears believer in Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
And
I'll start believing in week 4.
After this.
I'm not believing this week. When they start playing the Las Vegas, when they play the Las Vegas Tom Brady's, I'll start believing then. I think the Cowboys win this game. This is going to be an offensive game. Both defenses last week gave up over 500 yards. You know, the Cowboys are 27th in scoring defense.
It did take 5 quarters for them to give up 500 to Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Well,
he got a bunch in the fourth.
But it could have been more too. But and then the Bears are 32nd right now in scoring defense. I mean, they're giving up 39 points per game.
Yeah.
And when I look at these offenses, I think the Cowboys are just too powerful. I don't think the Bears can keep up. Dak looks great right now. CeeDee Lamb had a big bounce back game last week. You guys were both right about George Pickens. He is becoming a factor in this offense, establishing himself, building that connection with Dak Prescott. And I really like Javonte Williams. He adds a different element to this offense that they haven't had the last couple of years. I know they've had some good backs, but what he can do is unique to what some other backs have done for them. So I like the Cowboys in this one. I got them winning 35-24.
Okay.
35-24.
I'll take that. So think about this about CeeDee Lamb. I always call him the best receiver in football until he dropped 4 the first night, Thursday night at Philly. Think about what would have happened if he had caught, let's say, 3 of those 4. Could he had another 70, 80 yards? Yeah, he could have. So even now, with the 4 drops after 2 games, he's caught 16 balls for 222 yards, and that is second in the league to Malik Neighbors. So my point is, he could be running away with receiver stats if he just hung on to accurate passes at Philadelphia. He's still having a big year. Like he's right at the he's right there. He's
But that's the point is the what ifs. Like that's been an issue with CD.
Yeah.
He has had a lot of drops in his career since he's a damn good receiver. I think he's top 3 right now. I think Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson are ahead of him. I have him right around that 3rd spot. But that's been the issue is the what ifs. He could be the number 1 receiver if he didn't have 30+ drops since he's been in the league. If he hasn't had that drop issue, and that's what's frustrating, I think, with Dallas fans, and I'm sure you can, obviously talk on that, but he has those opportunities in these games, and he just can't make the play when he needs to. Makes a ton of plays. He's a great receiver. He did, but to your point, how much better he could be if he didn't have this drop issue.
So, Aqib, we haven't talked about this yet, but they did sign Clowney during the game last week.
They did.
He's long in tooth. He's been around a long time in a lot of places. Maybe hasn't quite lived up to being the first overall pick. Had his moments in Houston. He's only 32, but it seems like he's been around forever. What's your gut feeling? Do they get any pop out of him at all? Do they get a rush here or there out of him?
I think they do. I think Clowney numbers might not say that he's a top guy, but he's always just created havoc, in my opinion. Just pressure. He probably didn't get a stat for the time he hurt Burrow, but he was the one who came through in 1.5 seconds and put Burrow on the ground.
That is true.
Put him out. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a great pickup for him, and I think he do enough this year to be there again next year. And we really.
You think next year's the year?
Next year is going to be the year we really going to need him. So I think he's one of the guys, that one of the free agents who they bring in. They kind of trying to get a feel for him. Yeah. See how hard he worked. See that he's all about football this year. He'll get enough pressure this year to stay around for next year. And I think it'll be a great pickup for the Cowboys.
Now, let me ask you this, Skip. How are you feeling if Chicago comes out and does go for, let's say, 400 yards, and Caleb looks great against that defense? Do you start hitting the panic button now for the Cowboys? If there's no pass rush, are you missing Micah Moore? If Ben Johnson comes out and game plans against them and they say they put up 30 points, are you starting to hit the panic button as a Cowboys fan?
I wouldn't hit the panic button, but you got me. I'd have to come in here on Monday and say, God, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. But I'm going to say this again, and I can't get it through my thick skull. How did we go to Philly and hold Jalen Hurts and company on banner night at home to 3 points on a 58-yard field goal in the entire second half? That's pretty good. Maybe it's pretty great. And then we allow Russell Wilson and the Giants to score 21 in the fourth quarter, just in the fourth quarter, to take it to overtime. And we barely got it to overtime thanks to the greatest kicker ever. So,
well, I will point out, because we're going to talk about the Eagles next, but the Eagles right now, if we're looking at it, the Eagles are ranked 31st in the NFL in passing yards per game and 29th in total yards per game. The Eagles offense, it ain't it right now.
I understand.
It's their defense, right?
Okay, but they're 2-0.
But see, that's what it is.
They are 2-0.
When the offense is struggling, guys like Jalen Hurts find a way to tell.
They
find a way.
Chris Johnson, hey, shut the fuck up. We still won the game. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That is true.
But the Cowboys were able to hold
while they
that
putting it together, while they fixing it, they still win games.
Yeah.
Okay, to your point, I haven't seen a sighting yet of Dante Fowler, but I still think he's got a lot left in the tank, because he led the Commanders last year with 10.5, and he came back to Dallas. Has he got 5 or 6 in him? I think so. And that James Houston, who got off to a hellacious start when he was a Detroit Lion, he had a sack last week, and I like him. And Sam Williams is coming off knee reconstruction, but trust me, he's got a little Micah pop in him, and I think we'll see it come to life. And I still like their second-round pick, Ezra Ruaku, and he's still a baby, and he wears number 41, and I'm looking for 41 to flash one time for me. The pieces are there. Solomon Thomas was pretty good coming up the middle, and Odigizua.
Kenny Clark had a couple plays.
Kenny Clark made a play. He had a sack.
He did.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking. You ask glass half full. I think it's 3/4 full, because of what they did at Philly, albeit against an offense that's struggling, but still, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I take it. I'll take it to my bank. And I'll take it to the bank this week, and then I'll definitely take it to my bank when Green Bay comes calling a week from Sunday.
So I think they're a year away, man. They're just a year away.
Yeah.
I think they go away from what they usually do. They bring in, if they had Diggs, they had Diggs. If they don't have Diggs, they had somebody big time for Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a draft pick or a guy, they trade him. Yeah. So.
Well, let's move on to a different game, because this game I'm very excited about. I don't really know who I would pick here, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. But we have Rams versus Eagles. This is the morning slot, so you guys wake up early, get to it. But Eagles, obviously, I just mentioned they are struggling on offense. Obviously, they're looking amazing on defense. They're starting 2-0. But, I mean, looking at their offense, 31st in the NFL in passing yards right now, 31st. So can the Eagles also are on a 16-game winning streak right now, the Eagles. So are the Rams going to be the one right now to come in and dethrone them? Aqib, Rams, Eagles, who wins?
I thought it was an 18-game win streak.
I think it's 16.
You probably know better than me. That's what you do. But I don't think so. Eagles at home, man, that's a tough place to play. That's a long-ass flight. I always despise them long-ass trips. It just always had my body feeling sluggish, or that East Coast to West Coast, or West Coast to East Coast. It just did something to my body. And I know teams I played on, we just wasn't real successful going coast to coast. So I hate that trip, LA all the way to Philly. And that D-line, man, that's a difference-making D-line. They stop the run by themselves. They allow you to double. When you want to play man, we could play man. We could double Puka and Devontae and rush forward, and it's like a blitz. You know what I'm saying? So that D-line allows you to do so much stuff. And the Titans ran the ball good against the Rams. So I think Philly will be able to run the ball good against them, whether they throw the ball good or not. They'll run the ball good enough. They'll play enough good defense at home. It's going to be a good-ass game, though. That's what Sean do. He is a great game planner.
He is.
He's going to find a way to get some big plays in there.
Yep.
I think it'll be a tight-ass game. 23-17, Eagles win at home.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know Gil's not here, so he's probably not too happy with us, but I'm going with the Eagles as well.
I know. We know what Gil would be saying.
If anything, or if last year's an indicator, I mean, the Eagles beat the Rams at home in Los Angeles in Week 12, and they beat them in the divisional round. Unbelievable playoff game. I mean, it came down to that Jalen Carter sack on third down, Stafford misses Puka on the sideline on 4th down. But I think we're going to see a remnants of that game. I think it's going to be close.
But the addition of Devontae Adams, I think, has
100%.
really
Agreed. But with those two teams, these are two favorites in the NFC. We're going to get spoiled on Sunday. This is going to be
a great game,
potentially of what we're going to see in the postseason.
Right.
Now, I can't wait to watch Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford go up against Vic Fangio and this Eagles defense. They got after Mahomes' ass at Arrowhead last week, and I think they're going to do the same thing with Stafford. They have to this week pressure him. When Matthew Stafford is at his best, he can sit back there, play 7-on-7, pick you apart, go through progression, move around in the pocket. As soon as you get him off of his rhythm and get him out of his timing, that's when he struggles a little bit. He can create with his arm. He's getting up there a little bit in age, but I expect him to get after him, or even with the 4-man rush. Sometimes they don't even have to bring pressure. They can get home with that pass rush, and then the other side of the ball. I would love to see Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown get going now. I mean, like you said, the bottom of the league right now in passing offense, I just don't think it'll be this week. That Rams defense is as good as anybody right now under Chris Shula in the NFL. I mean, they're first in scoring defense. They're 4th in total defense, 4th in passing defense, but they're 18th to Aqib's point in rushing defense. They've given up some big run plays, so I think it's going to be the Saquon Barkley show like it was in that playoff game last year in the snow. 26 carries, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had the 62-yarder touchdown, then he had the 78-yarder. I think he's going to do the same thing this week. So I have the Eagles win. I think it's going to be close too. I have the Eagles winning 24-21.
See, and they might try to fix that run game problem. They might fucking load that box.
I think they will.
But if you load that box, hey, Witherspoon and my dog Darius, y'all got to stand up against these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And, hey, I just don't think they got the corners to play like that.
I think they do, though, to that point. I think Shula this week makes it a point of emphasis to say, hey,
Jalen got to beat us.
Saquon went for 200 against us last year.
Jalen got to beat us.
Yeah, let Jalen. I mean, he did in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, but
he ain't beat the Rams, though.
Yeah, this is a young Rams team, but they added some key pieces in the offseason with that front 7. They can get after the quarterback a little bit and stop the run.
But that secondary, Taylor Rapp, Darius, Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I don't believe in it.
Okay.
Really?
Hey, I don't believe in it.
Okay, interesting. So, Kinsey, I need to know, just for the record, which way are you going in this game before I make my pick?
I know. I was going to say, Gil's not here. I'm going to stand in for Gil today.
Oh, so you're
there we go, Kinsey.
Yeah, I'm going to stand in for Gil. I gotta have my guy. I think I got the Rams. I don't know. I think with the addition of Devontae Adams.
I actually love that, because if you were going to go Eagles, then I was going to be afraid to go Eagles.
Okay, that's all you want.
You can't do that.
We're doomed. I'm definitely going to Eagles in this game. But for the record, before we made our preseason picks, I thought hard about the Rams and the NFC because of everything you've said about Sean McVay. He's really good at what he does. And he is starting to push. Obviously, Andy Reid is the dean of coaches and the greatest coach currently going. But Sean McVay is pushing up in there. Like he's going to need a little more, but still, he's really good at what he does, and that team is really good as long as it stays healthy at quarterback and Puka at receiver, because he is the ultimate kamikaze weapon. He's just running into everybody and through everybody. So good. But he's a concussion waiting to happen. I'm knocking on wood for him because I don't even like to talk about it.
I know last game was he almost.
Their head bounced off that turf.
Every chance. And I'm like, I watch his games like this, man. Like I don't know. And right now, Pro Football Focus ranks Matt Stafford #1 in the league in 2 games performance. And so I honor that.
Yeah.
But I see this game going like their opener did in L.A. Remember, it's 14-9 against the Texans. And I think this is going to be very low scoring at Philly. I'll call it 17-10, but I'm going Eagles just because they're the freaking Eagles.
They're going to get a tush push on that last little touchdown.
Listen, Jalen, he throws for 101 yards at Kansas City, and they win because he made the little play here, and he made that play, and he made that tush push, and then he made another tush push. And because they had Jalen Hurts and their defense, then they just they win the game because they got winning edge, and it's hard edge to it where they just make plays everywhere with everybody, and they're very physical, and they're just on a roll right now. At home, this is a huge statement game for the Rams to come in and say, no, we are the team in the NFC. And if they go win this game, we're all going to sit back and say, that's a big statement, right?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead. I don't think they can make that statement against this team on this day at that stadium.
That's how dangerous the Eagles are, though.
Yeah.
That was my comment last week about is Jalen Hurts top 5. I believe he is, but when you have
You would put him above right now, Matt Stafford.
Huh?
You would put him above right now.
Yeah, I put Hurts at 5 right now, 100%. But when you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, even last week, Saquon only had, 88 rushing yards, I think, in that game. When you have those guys and they don't have to do anything, and your quarterback throws for 101 yards and you still win against the Chiefs. I know they have injuries and guys are out. Yeah, that's impressive. I don't think people understand. It's hard to score points in the NFL. I played on offense. It's very hard. And it's hard to win football games. And when you can do it, when all your superstars aren't at the best, it's just that's why the Eagles are going to be the favorite every year until someone takes them out in the NFC.
Yeah. So right now, speaking of the Rams defense, just to give them their props that they have earned over 2 weeks.
100%.
Pro Football Focus just loves them because they got Jared Verse, he's a stud now, but they're ranking him 7th of the edge rushers. And that other kid, who I don't even know much about, Byron Young. He hadn't caught my eye yet, but he's a 3rd-round pick, 23 out of Tennessee. He's ranked 4th among edge rushers. So now they got bookend rushers that you say, well, wait a second, that they got firepower.
Yeah.
Like the world hasn't locked in on how much firepower they really have. So this is it. And I still think they're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time after a 5 or 6 hour flight, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I do want to talk about Joe Burrow, my guy Joe Burrow. Okay, he's had 3 season-ending injuries in the last 6 years, okay? That's 3 out of the 6 seasons just done. So big talk right now. There's people going on. Joe Burrow should request a trade from the Bengals. He doesn't have the offensive line. He's going to keep getting hurt. But on the play that he got hurt this last week, Burrow opted not to take the chance at the first read, the second, and then the protection started to fall. But he's publicly gone on record and said he is willing to take sacks on extended plays, especially in the 3rd down, to convert, right?
Yeah.
So that is Joe Burrow. That's how he's going to play. He's willing to risk the sack. Okay, so I'm going to ask Cody, how much blame do the Bengals deserve for Joe Burrow's injury? Is it Joe? Is it Bengals?
To your point, too, he took 51 sacks the year they went to the Super Bowl, which led the NFL.
Yeah.
And they went to the Super Bowl, and they were a drive away from beating the Rams. But,
his numbers of sacks in his career, it's like
it's
200.
unbelievable. This is very concerning for me. It's getting frustrating, and I feel for him as a former quarterback. Mike Brown and the Bengals should have addressed this a long time ago. This should have been fixed. And like you mentioned, he's had 3. We'll see if this one, at least 2 season-ending injuries. If he's out for the rest of the year, this one, it could be 3.
Yeah.
But in 6 years, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right? You invest in the 1st overall pick. You got to invest in the guys around him. And I know that it's the NFL. You can't predict every single injury, and you can't prevent them. But what you can prevent is your quarterback taking 200 sacks in 71 games since he's been in the NFL. That is 2.8 sacks per game. That is 9th all time. Not since he's been in the NFL, all time for amount of quarterback sacks. That is unbelievable. That should have been fixed after his rookie year. After 2020, that season, he took 32 sacks in 10 games. He took 8 in 1 game against Philly. Then he turned around and took 7 the next game or a couple games later against Baltimore. Ooh. And then he eventually tore his ACL. Since that time, guess how many offensive linemen the Bengals have drafted in the 1st round? 1. And it wasn't until 2024 when they took the right tackle, Amarius Mims, out of Georgia. Now, I'm not saying...
And he worked. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been good. Well, he's been decent, but... And I'm not saying they haven't addressed the issue, right? They went and got Orlando Brown, and they got him. They got Ted Karras up front.
They got Alex Kaplan.
Lucas Patrick. Yeah, they went and got some other guys, and they drafted some guys. Dalton Risner's another guy they added. But for whatever reason, I don't care how many guys you have added, your process right now, your evaluation process is flawed, and it's not working. And I know they know how to evaluate talent because they went and got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. They're finding guys at the skill position, but when it comes to the offensive line, something needs to change. They need to fix that issue. And you say, Mims has been decent, sure, but an issue I have with it is last year, and you use Pro Football Focus, I think they're great too.
They are.
But at left tackle, Orlando Brown was 66
he was terrible.
out of all left tackles in the NFL. That is one of the worst. The guy that was worse than him was Mims. And I know he's a rookie, but he was 67th for right tackles in the NFL. And guess who the 2 starting right tackles, or the left tackle and right tackle, were this season? Both Brown and Mims. And that, to me, is just saying we care more about our investments than we do Joe Burrow, because they paid $64 million for Brown, and they went and spent a 1st-round pick on Mims. If they're not getting it done, who cares? cut your ties. I know you want to let them develop, and those are your investments, but you're not doing right by your quarterback. They have to get this figured out. If they don't fix this issue with Tobin and Mike Brown, and they don't have a general manager. They have kind of by committee, director of player personnel. They all kind of
it's like a mom and pop.
Yeah,
shop.
they all say, okay, well, let's take this guy or that guy. I don't even know who makes the picks for them. But if they don't figure it out, then this could be the end of Joe Burrow's career. We could be watching. I'm not saying this one, but it could be very soon, and we could be watching in real time one of the biggest what ifs in NFL history.
I'm with Cody, man. I see this year his toe injury. You said it was 2 reads, but I watched him look at his slant. Didn't like the slant. Pressure was on him.
No, it was
quick pressure. In 2023, his hand, it was clowny. Inside move, quick pressure.
It was.
Drove him to the ground. Boom.
Yep.
And then in 2020, he threw a 3-step fade, 1, 2, 3, fade real quick. Got on his knee real quick. So it was quick pressure, quick pressure, quick pressure. So quick pressure, to me, I'm going to put the blame on the O-line. Y'all getting him fucking banged up. If it's the O-line problem, I'm going to put the blame on the Bengals. But to your point, man, the Bengals are trying. You said they trying. They signed Kappa. They signed Karras. They signed Brown.
They did.
Yeah,
They
and
draft
somebody's
Mims.
hurt right now. That's why Cody Ford's in. Cody Ford's trash.
Right. They draft Fairchild in the 3rd, not the 1st and the 3rd, but he a starter. You know what I'm saying? He from Georgia, so they trying, man. Sometimes you try, you can't really cut. It's the business part of the league don't let you sign a guy like Brown, and if he trash 1 year, cut your ties. Like, bro, this shit just don't work like that. Draft this guy 1st round, and if he trashes, bro, this shit we just got too much invested in him.
But then you end up with Burrow with another injury. That's.
Hey,
you
that's
also
like a 50-50 thing. We trying. Shit, it's freak of nature shit though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get through on a 3-step and fall into his knee. Like any left tackle could have let that happen because he really blocked him real good and kind of dumped him he almost dumped him into his knee. So it wasn't a bad block. You know what I'm saying? Clowney, he got the ball off. Clowney came and hit him. I mean, it's freak of nature stuff. It's times where they protecting the hell out of him as well, and he finding his 3rd read, Higgins downfield and throwing touchdowns. So if they wasn't trying at all, I would put the blame all the way on the Bengals. But they fucking trying. They signing guys. They drafting guys. They trying. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance. At the same time, shit, I seen Tom get his shit knocked loose a few times, and he not out for the season. I seen Peyton get his shit knocked loose a whole bunch of times, and he not out for the season.
You think
so
Burrow's sensitive?
Burrow a little fragile, and the team could do better on the O-line. So it's a 50-50 thing to me.
But that's my point. It's not a few times. Like, since Burrow's been in the league, they've had a bottom 10 offensive line every single year. And I know they're trying, but that trying shit's over. Like, you're going to lose Joe Burrow. He's going to be a what if. He's going to be an Andrew Luck
But what else
situation.
can they do, though? They could predict the future and say, Brown,
get a new
Brown
GM.
just came off winning a Super Bowl with Mahomes. Why wouldn't we draft that left tackle? He just won a chip.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but last year he wasn't it. He struggled, right? And they paid him in $64 million or whatever it was.
Did.
Cut that shit. Cut those ties. Go find someone at left tackle that's not going to let him get hit. And I'm not saying Brown's not a good player. I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I know he's had a good career in the NFL, but at the same time, 2.8 sacks per game. That's 9th all time, Aqib. It's not
so. Do Burrow ever hold the ball?
But he also stands in there. And I'm gonna stand up for the quarterbacks. That Super Bowl.
All right. Well, if you
stand in there taking hits off. He takes 3 steps, hitch, ball, taking a shot in the chin and getting it out. You know what he does? He hops up, says that's on me, guys. Pats up his offensive line.
All right. Well, if you know you're that guy, if I'm just a little bit fragile, maybe I should throw this shit away and not stand in there.
He's waiting for the deep shots for Jamar Chase.
Maybe I shouldn't do that as much. If I know I'm just a little bit fragile, I get hurt a lot. Let me help out my O-line. If I don't like that shit, throw it away. We can play some ball.
But even last year, he puts up the numbers that he had. He went insane last year.
He was still 40th.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like freak of nature shit that's going on. You got to take the good with the bad. He hold the ball a little bit. He get hurt. He a little fragile. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take the good with the bad.
But
the Bengals we fucking trying, bro. What you want us to do?
If you put anybody in that situation to where they're going to get sacked over 200 times in 71 games, I get it. I get that there's injuries that aren't preventable. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. You could get sacked one time and have a career-ending injury and be done.
All them sacks is not on the O-line, though, is my point.
I'm not saying they all are, but what I'm saying is the more that it happens, whether it's Burrow's fault, the O-line's fault, the GM's up front, whoever it may be, just you have to figure it out because it's been consistent. It's not like, all right, 2020, you know, we had a bad team. He got hurt. The O-line was bad. That next year we addressed the issue. No, they went to the Super Bowl, but he still was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL that year. Then the next year, you're like, all right, okay.
But why though?
Bottom 10.
They're not the most sacked quarterback because the O-line is just trash. They're the most sacked quarterback because the O-line is okay and because Burrow hold the ball.
But they've ranked bottom 10 based off of production. This is
that's bottom. Burrow is part of the problem, is what I'm saying. Yeah. If you holding the ball, you're part of the problem. So what they do, they tell Burrow, hey, throw the fucking ball. You don't tell Burrow how to play quarterback. There's no such thing as the ultimate O-line who don't get our quarterback touch. That shit don't happen.
No, it doesn't. But you don't get 2.8 sacks per game. You don't get over 271 games.
Caleb do.
If you have a good O-line.
Does he hold the ball?
Yeah.
But and everybody who hold the ball, if that's your style of play, you hold the ball. Shador do, because he got a style of play which hold the ball, and create big plays. If that's your style of play, you're going to be sacked more, is my point.
No, I agree with you.
At some point, you got to pivot.
So many times on game film to where it's 3 steps, ball, he's hit. 3-step hitch, ball, first read, Jamar Chase. I'm getting hit when I shouldn't be.
Right.
That bottom 10 is not because of the sacks. It's because of win rate. They're losing quickly. They're losing at the point of attack, and then Burrow's getting hit because of that. I'm not disagreeing. There's plenty of times on film you can go back and look, and he's holding it for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds because I want Jamar Chase to get down there, like Kinsey said. I want to find T. Higgins on these explosive plays, but a lot of that is on the offensive line. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a quarterback, but when I go back and watch the tape from those years, there's just so many times where tackle loses right away. Guard loses right away. You can see Burrow going, hey, Roger, we're going right. Running back goes left instead of right, misses his pickup, and he's getting hit for that. Whoever's fault it is, I get that some of it's on Burrow, but at the end of the day, if they don't get it fixed and they don't get an offensive line to protect Burrow and they keep going down this path, this is going to be Andrew Luck 2.0. Burrow will be done, and it's going to be a sad day for football because we're going to say this could have been the biggest what if in NFL history. And
by the way, Andrew Luck didn't love football. I don't care what you say, he didn't love it.
He got hit a bunch because he got.
But he just didn't love it. He didn't want to really do it for the rest of his life. You both have made great, valid points, but I'm with you on this one. In the end, you can't take the Burrow out of Burrow. And we all love him, but he's just going to do this. It's what he is. It's how he was born. It's what makes him great. It's what makes Mahomes great. And all I've heard the last 3 or 4 years, his line they don't protect. No. Pat Mahomes runs around, he's looking, he's trying to throw a home run, he's looking, then he's going to take off running, and he gets sacked. It's the O-line. Well, not really, because you can't hold a block for 7 seconds. You can't. And with Joe, he doesn't run around as much as Patrick does, but he's going to look to get the ball deep to Chase and to Higgins and to that Tinsley kid he's got now. He's going to try to do Joe Burrow things. And the injuries he suffered have been freaks of nature. This was the all-time freak of nature. The tackler has him by the foot and is pulling back on his foot, and it hyperextends his big toe until the ligament rips. Okay, now to your point. I can't explain this. You want to do injury gods. You want to do, bad luck, bad karma. I don't know what it is. But somehow, some guys are brittle and some guys are not brittle. I can't explain it. But Joe Burrow always looks like, even though he's 6'4", 210-ish, he still looks like he has a kid body, like a big kid body. He doesn't look like he ever got his man body to me. He doesn't play physically, but he's got high pain threshold because he will stand in there and take the lift.
Hell yeah, he got guts.
Hey, he's got big guts. Maybe too big because he doesn't have any self-protective mechanism in his body.
Yeah.
After a while, Tom Brady finally realized, well, if this play is over, I'm going to live to play another play, and he just ducks and covers.
Yep.
Well, Joe won't duck and cover. He's going to stand strong and make that throw.
Game. Get it out of the way.
But it's hard.
Your O-line sucks.
It's hard to coach that into a guy.
But I'm saying, you can't. I know we're saying fluke injuries, but the reason that he's having a chance for those injuries because the amount of times he gets hit, that percentage goes up.
No, I got it.
You're giving yourself an opportunity to get hurt. And I promise you, man, it's not always Burrow. There's a reason that this offensive line has struggled. There's a reason they brought so many damn guys in because it's not working, and guys keep getting, or guys keep losing.
I feel that, Cody. But I'm saying, all right, if Burrow got the highest sack percentage, who got the second highest sack percentage? I bet you that motherfucker not out 3 times. It's just.
Well, the other one was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had 200.
Well, yeah, with Daniel Jones, he's been out for the season.
He had an ACL. He's been hit. Yeah. Daniel Jones got sacked over 200 times. I think it was 201 times in 6 years with New York. So that was kind of my point is guys like that, yes, I could go out tomorrow, team could sign me and say, hey, Kessler, come play for us. I could get hit the first play of the game and my knee could be gone. I get that.
Like Russell played like that, though.
Yeah,
Russell
no, he does.
dip and whoop and move and whoop. And I ain't seen him been out for the season yet. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's true. That's why I say that injuries aren't always preventable, but you give yourself a higher percentage of getting hurt when you don't protect your quarterback. Or Burrow that holds the ball, whatever it may be. And fine, even if I say it's on Burrow, then okay, we've got a quarterback that might hold the ball a little bit longer, then we've got to get a better offensive line. We need to get guys that can protect for 4, 5, 6 seconds. Not that are 66 in Pro Football Focus and 67th and are struggling with their win rate.
But if I'm trying, if Cody, I know Cody gonna hold the ball, I need to get him a nice left tackle. What about the motherfucker who just won the chip? Let me go get him.
I don't disagree.
All right, well, if he get here and shit,
but it's not
eat an
working.
extra cheese steak every day because he got real money now, I can't do nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. You know what I'm saying?
But that was my point is, okay, we saw that they struggled last year on the outside.
You can't fire him, Cody. It's the business part of it.
But then
we locked in with this motherfucker for 2 or 3 years
that's what
now.
I'm saying. But then this year going into the game, right tackle was Mims, left tackle was Brown again. Nothing changed. And what happens in a couple games, Burrow's out and now. I mean,
but why would I change anything when he just fucking went off, though? You could say they played bad, but did Burrow look bad? He looked like he was damn near the MVP.
He got sacked almost 60 times or 50 times.
But that's because how he played, though. To me, that's how he played.
He led the league in yards.
He led the league in yards.
Like, I want to
damn
go
near
deep.
in touchdowns. Like, shit, I'm not really going to change.
They went to this.
I want Burrow to do that same shit he did last year, and let's play a little bit better defense.
He still got sacked 48 times last year, I think it was, which was tied fourth with Sam Darnold.
And
like, that's not a recipe for success. That would make you want to protect your asset.
18 of them motherfuckers was Burrow.
Well, let's
That's
see.
all I'm saying.
Let's see how Browning handles with this O-line. We're going to see what he does with it. But I do want to, you talked about Daniel Jones. I want to touch on this before we close out the show because we've been wanting to talk about this for a while, actually. Daniel Jones, so the Colts are moving different, starting 2-0 for the first time since 2009. This is the first team in NFL history to score on their first 10 possessions to open a season. 588 passing yards, no turnovers for Daniel Jones. So, Cody, will Daniel Jones make the Giants fans miss him this season?
What's his nickname now? It was Danny Dimes. Now it's Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Hey, that's one of the coldest nicknames. That's cold.
That's hard.
Look, I don't think he's going to make him miss him, just because it was the right move for both parties.
Yeah,
right? Daniel Jones needed to move on. The Giants needed to move on. I do think Daniel Jones revives his career this year, though. I really do. We see it all the time. Sam Darnold in Minnesota. We saw Geno Smith go to Seattle. Baker in Tampa. And going back even further, Kurt Warner was bagging groceries to the greatest show on turf, and now he's a Hall of Famer and a Super Bowl champion. It happens all the time. I don't like, though, the way that the Giants, similar to Burrow, and this was kind of one of my points, the way that they handled his first couple of years in New York, right? So they go into the first season, and Eli Manning, who's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, is a starter. They bench him after 2 games and say, all right, Jones, go in there. You're the heir to Eli Manning. Go take over. Plays decent against Tampa, has a couple good games, but then it starts falling apart, and he starts struggling. I wish that Pat Shurmur would have handled that differently. Let him sit. It wasn't like Eli got hurt. You're 0-2. Let him develop a little bit. Watch what works. Then if you get to week 8 or 9, then you can throw Jones in there, but they didn't do that. The other thing, 3 different head coaches in 6 years. That's not a key or a recipe for success for a quarterback. And then he also had some injuries, had an ACL, but that was because he was sacked over 200 times. Those things were issues, while he was there. I'm not saying he didn't do anything good. They went to the playoffs in 2022. They won a playoff game. And I'm not saying the Giants didn't give him opportunities. I don't want this to be all on New York. They gave him probably more opportunities than he deserved. They paid him $160 million and invested in him, which I'm happy he got paid, but I wasn't a big fan of that. But I think at the end of the day, it was right for both parties to go their separate ways. Now, being with Indianapolis, I really believe this is going to be the turnaround for his career. And you go in to Indy, the best part for him is you don't have that pressure as a 6 overall pick anymore, right? You can kind of play a little bit more free. You're not supposed to be the savior of our organization. You're not supposed to be the next guy after Eli Manning. You go in to compete with Anthony Richardson, which I think a lot of people thought, all right, he's going to be a backup, but he ends up winning the job. And now you're kind of playing with house money. I wasn't expected to be the starter. I can go out there and play confident, and he is. And you're also only playing for $14 million instead of $40 million, and you don't have to live up to that contract, so there's a lot, less pressure in that as well. But I really believe this is going to be the thing that Daniel Jones needed to get him over that hump. You give him Michael Pittman Jr., you draft Tyler Warren, who's a damn good football player. He's a lot of fun to watch on film. You get Jonathan Taylor, you got a good offensive line, and now you pair him up with head coach and play caller Shane Steichen, I think the sky's the limit. Now, it's only 2 weeks, like Gerald would say. I don't want to overreact, but they haven't punted in 2 weeks either. This offense looks great. I know they've gone for it on a couple fourth downs, but if he can keep it up, it's never been the physical side of things for Daniel Jones. It's been the mental side of things, and he looks as comfortable as he ever has.
That is true.
Yeah, I think it's a very impressive start for Daniel Jones. You went up against a tough Broncos defense, and you didn't punt not one time. Like you said, 2 fourth down stops, but it looked amazing. You know what I'm saying? You looked good in the fourth quarter. You drove down, got field goals. A lot to do with Taylor running the ball as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget Taylor.
No.
But if you start like that, 10 touchdowns, what you said, Kinsey, 10 touchdowns to start the year that you're setting records, it's a great start for him. But the Giants fan, not only would they not miss him, I feel like they damn near hate him.
Yeah.
Shit, he's the reason why Saquon is not in town no more. They see Saquon go do what he do for Philly. And if you ask me, it was Daniel Jones or Saquon. Which one we want to pay? They picked to pay Daniel Jones. So I feel like the Giants fans are still frowning upon that decision. And on top of that shit, they watched Russell throw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Moon balls, touchdowns, getting the ball to neighbors. So I think they cool on Daniel Jones. Go do what you do.
Yeah.
We got Russ playing like this. We got Dart on deck. If Russell start tripping, we got Dart on deck. I think the Giants are good with their situation right now. I don't think they're going to miss him at all.
Agreed.
I think they will grudgingly miss him by the end of the year because I think he's going to have a big year in Indy. They wouldn't admit it to anybody, especially to a Cowboy fan, but I think deep down, with teeth clenched, they're going to miss Daniel Jones because I think he found his heavenly Valhalla spot.
Yeah.
This is where he belonged. And I'm going to say this again because I campaigned for Dallas to take this kid in the first round.
Daniel Jones?
No, Tyler Warren, the rookie. No, not Daniel Jones. God,
He was ready.
What the fuck?
in fact, Baker Mayfield once ripped them for taking Daniel Jones, but that's a whole nother issue. But your favorite quarterback, Baker Mayfield. But Tyler Warren, they took the wrong Tyler to me because they took Tyler Booker, and I'm sure he's going to be just fine as their new right guard.
Yeah.
But Tyler Warren is a stud out of Penn State. And Pro Football Focus, I know it's 2 games, already ranks him the #1 tight end in pro football. He's leading all tight ends with 155 yards receiving because he leads them in targets and catches. And it's because Daniel Jones has a security blanket to throw to him. He will flat out get open and grab the football from anybody. So you've got that. You've got Jonathan Taylor, even though he's up there in years, but he's looking like he is cooking, man.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of liked Daniel Jones because he's 6'5", 230, and runs 4'8", because he can. When he gets loose, he can move.
The intangibles are there.
You know? And all he's lacked is it's like the Wizard of Oz. You're off to see the wizard. He just doesn't have confidence.
Yeah.
Like you got to go see the wizard and get some confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think he's gone to see Shane Steichen, and when I watch him, and I've watched him twice now, he just looks like he's handling himself like he believes he can actually do this now. So I think I won't bore you with their schedule, but as NFL schedules goes, it's winnable. There are a lot of winnable games where you could win 10-ish games, 11 games, and you'd be the talk of the league, man. And if that happens, and maybe they win a playoff game, then yeah. But he did win a playoff game, as you said, for the Giants.
He already done that for him. So I feel like the Giants fan base, they miss Saquon. Why?
Yeah, well,
because Saquon went and won a Super Bowl. They got to watch Saquon win a Super Bowl.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
And the worst part is that was televised too. You got to see how that went down.
You feel me? You saw how it went down. They got to watch Saquon win a Super Bowl. If they lose Saquon and he don't win a Super Bowl, they're going to be like, oh, well, shit, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, only way they're going to miss him is he go win a chip. If Daniel Jones go win a Super Bowl, then the Giants fan base is going to be like, damn, we should have kept him. If he go win a fucking playoff game, they're going to be like, we don't give a damn about no players. The same thing he did with us, bro. So
I think even if he wins a Super Bowl, they're still like, because they gave him plenty of opportunities, and they gave him a contract extension. It just wasn't working. I think if he wins a Super Bowl, I still think that the Giants fans are like, he wasn't going to do it here ever. So that's fine. Go do what you did. Some guys are going to be happy for him, but they call him Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones now.
Right, but just for the record, in 2022, he goes 9-6-1, and then goes up and did beat Kirk Cousins in Minnesota and beat the hell out of him.
They did.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he did that. That's not all bad, right?
But then they paid him, and he never had that same production, and he gets hurt, and all these different things happen, and it was pretty much the writing on the wall, like, all right, rookie year wasn't great, second year was decent, we win a playoff game, a couple years later with Dable, and all those things happen, and then it's like, we pay you, and now where'd you go? And I know the injury plays a factor, but they weren't having that same production, and he was getting his ass kicked. The offensive line, he was taking a bunch of hits. They gave him a ton of opportunities, so I'm not putting it all on the Giants. I think just the writing on the wall was, all right, it's not going to work out. And real quick, to your point, too, I got to bring this up. That Tyler Warren kid is the real deal. I mean, go watch the film against the Broncos the other day. Steichen dialed it up. He had him at fullback, ends up running a flood concept corner on the left side, and just and Daniel drops it in the bucket. I watched him come to USC, and this man played under Andy Kotelnicki, who was the offensive coordinator for Penn State.
Kansas.
Aqib. Yeah, he was at Kansas. Penn State went and got his ass.
We sold on that.
Bro,
we should have never let Kansas.
Tell me what you do with this. Tight end Tyler Warren, he played quarterback, tight end, running back, receiver. Then he lined up at center, snapped the ball to Drew Aller, ran down the field and caught a touchdown, bro. Like, how do you game plan against that? He's a Swiss Army knife.
Hey, Andy is a damn fool, bro. Kansas, he should have broke the bank. Whatever. He left Kansas from being an OC, went to Penn State to be the OC. Like, I don't give a damn. Pay him, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Pay him and make him stay, bro. Andy go crazy.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good point. I think Danny.
Well, let me say, the Cowboys have Jake Ferguson, who I like.
Underrated.
But Tyler Warren, I love.
Yeah.
Nah, for real.
Well, we have Thursday night football tonight, so I just want one-word answers, predictions. Obviously, the Dolphins, Bills. Aqib, go. What's your predictions?
Bills.
All right. What do we think it is going to be?
Bills and low scoring, 24-10. It was a blowout all game, 24-3. Late touchdown, make it look better, 24-10 game.
I think it's going to be high scoring for the Bills. I got Bills 34-17.
Really?
Yeah.
I got Bills 38-7.
Okay.
I think the Dolphins.
Boot the ass. We had to have one of them.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go check out Aqib's picks. Put those in for Underdog. We will see you back on Monday after a crazy weekend of football here in the arena.